December 29th, 1997. We're getting on the bus for an all-day excursion around Phoenix.
Alex changed his shirt. Look at that.
Woohoo! Yeah, what's on?
Oh,
look at this bus!
Everybody wave to the cameraman.
Isn't this neat?
Here's what we're going to do. Can you hear me back there?
Oh my God!
You didn't know I had another job, did you?
This poor driver doesn't know what he's in for.
And there's Roy.
We're going to be going by a lot of places that will be of interest to you. Some of you have already seen them, so bear with us because most of you haven't. We're not going to go into all of these places. As a matter of fact, probably we won't be going into most of them. But at least you'll get a feeling for what you want to see so that you can go down your own and explore it properly. As an example, we're going to go by and stop maybe at the outside of the Science Center, the new Science Center, which is supposed to be tremendous. But we wouldn't have time to go in there now because it would take 2 hours to do it properly.
World-class Science Center.
We just need to be on the same wavelength, that's all.
We need to vote.
Yeah, and I think this would be a good job for you. This job.
Isn't it good?
Yeah, because you know Arizona pretty well.
You think I've got videos? Are we going south now?
Beautiful bus. This is really nice.
Sort of lovely.
Kelly, isn't this nice?
What? Say that again.
I think you're here.
Oh, sorry.
He's very quiet this morning.
Oh, he's not feeling well.
There's no Neiman's. It's just like
He didn't
ordinary.
drink chocolate milk.
It's an ordinary store.
That's how out of it he is.
Driver, what's your name?
Roy.
Roy, okay, thanks.
Roy, you don't know what you're in for, Roy.
Yes, he does.
You guys don't know what you're in for.
Now, if you can think of some interesting spots as we go along that I've missed on that itinerary, I'd appreciate it.
Uncle, can we go up at 56th Street, up the hill, so we can see that area where actually cut through Camelback Mountain. He tore into that beautiful man-made mountain to make this Charles Keating, to make this monument to himself.
Who's that, Myra?
Charles Keating.
Charles
He built
Keating.
the Phoenician Hotel.
But he did a good job on the hotel.
I mean, God-made mountain, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Huh. Okay.
Allie,
Oh, look at the house.
sit here with Jen. You can see right out the front.
The one is the Frank
Look at that.
Lloyd
See
House.
that?
The one with the gun. Remember the gun swap?
You just have to clear off. Everybody else fell asleep.
Which one's a Frank
And I was
Lloyd
up
Wright?
till 5
Like
o'clock.
Uncle, what's
Trying
the
to
Frank
listening to
Lloyd
the
Wright house?
cacophony of...
But right here is a good spot, see?
Oh, wow.
Except you look at the brown smog over there.
Is it downtown? Yeah.
That's downtown LA?
Population.
Yeah.
Cars. Whose house? Oh, Jonathan's house, yeah. It's not just Gary.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a downtown.
Just one second.
But we're going to go down. That's where Central.
Big buildings are in the downtown.
That's Central Avenue where we're going to go.
Yeah.
It's not much of it. Compared to Toronto, it's nothing.
You know, about 4 years ago, there was, this girl said to me, I know what business to go into in this town. I said, what? The sign business for homes for sale. Every house on this line was on, I've never seen anything like it.
Why is that?
Well, the economy was so bad. Everybody was overextended and needed to sell their house.
Okay, Myra.
A wash.
Gary, what's a wash?
A wash. A wash. Yeah, you can't hear this thing. A wash, for definition, official definition for Jackie especially, a wash is now what we call a river, thanks to Alex, because there are no more washes. There's only rivers. It's where if you get a flash flood, It's the natural path that this flash flood can take to get rid of the water, and it goes down. Sorry, it goes down. It follows the gravitational contour. And what it does is, anytime it rains, the flash flood will allow. It's like a gully.
What happens if you move here and you don't know about them and you're driving through one? Or
what you have to do
You
is
sue the real estate agent that sold you the house.
yes, no.
Is it raining or not?
Well, what happens when you go into the
That's where,
desert, Gary?
What's that?
Don't put your mouth on it, Alex.
Jingle bells, Père Noel. Oh no.
Leave that over. Leave that over.
Say testing, testing.
Testing, testing.
Wait, don't put your mouth on it, okay? Here. Okay. Hold it like this.
Hello?
Yeah, it still works. And don't put your mouth on it, just talk. What's a wash, Alex?
Okay, a wash is, presenting a wash. A wash is from a monopoly. That's how you invented it. So, when you collect $200 at the wash, you go 2 spaces. If you go 2 spaces,
The Arizona Biltmore Hotel, we're just going to drive around it above it. So you saw some of what we're going to see today, but you're actually going to see all the way around where the homes are and the hotel is.
Oh, good, because I couldn't find it yesterday to drive them around, Larry and Marty and Jonathan. Good. Oh, good.
Alex was trying to tell us what a wash
We
is.
go back to the Wrigley Mansion, Dad, for lunch.
Huh? I just want to hear it.
Oh, my God. Well,
Dad?
wash is
Yeah.
hysterical.
We go back to the Wrigley Mansion for brunch.
Oh, yeah.
presenting,
Okay, Marty, you remember this while driving in? This is where we
presenting
stay.
a wash. A wash is when you play Monopoly. A wash is also when you collect $200 and when you move 2 spaces, you roll the dice. If you move 2 spaces, if it lands on 2, you go 2 spaces, and if it says pass back the $200 what you collect at the
Okay, wrap it up.
collect $200. Okay, that's what a wash is. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Pataquam. Yeah, but your
This is the
house was
Arizona
up here,
Biltmore.
Marnie.
Where was your
Take a look around now because there's some beautiful homes in here.
Oh, the best. Uncle?
The Biltmore, I don't know, is it Biltmore Estate?
Uncle, where
Yeah.
did Larry and Marty stay when they were here 10 years ago? They rented a house. Wasn't it up here on the
It was part of the Biltmore Estate. Got it over there?
These are magnificent homes. This is Frank Lloyd Wright Hotel. Look at this. Look at these. Yeah.
This is the Arizona Bill. This is across the street.
Oh, yeah, but they're, wait till you see others. The circus.
Is that a hotel or a house?
That's
That's a house. It's a little bit bigger than Terry and Marcy's. These are big
You hear
houses.
that? That's where your driver lives over there.
5 months.
They sell any place.
That's the Wrigley Mansion. So I can get a good shot of it.
Paradise. They advertise in Holiday.
Not a bad idea. Where do you live? Here's here.
It's a great golf.
It's one of the areas.
So I think it's
If it wasn't here.
This is part of the Arizona Biltmore.
when
See the famous Arizona Biltmore golf course?
the time that we stayed here and we
Is that where you got
tennis
teed
with
off?
Uncle Bowie.
Oh, yes.
I remember the helicopters
And this is the hotel itself.
over our head while we were playing tennis.
I'm sure most of you have already seen the hotel.
Right. My sister-in-law's cousin is Phyllis Miller's accountant. That was the one.
New Phyllis Miller's account.
New Phyllis still is. That's even better. New. My sister-in-law's cousin knew Phyllis Miller's account. That's great.
It's a
Larry, how is
what do you call it? 6 degrees of separation.
Oh, wow.
Myra, where's your old high school?
Oh, God. Uncle.
What's this? Need your cards? Oh, okay, we'll do that later. Didn't see your card? What, dear?
Not at all.
Check for it.
Is that right?
You're shooting Schrader.
Wow.
Shady glass.
Don't you feel that way, Uncle and Jan?
No, I like to see what's
I
going on.
used to, but things are changing now.
Yeah, to come downtown, there's no place to park.
What's right in front of us?
The Capitol building.
You're going to see that.
We're on the west
You
part.
see, Gary?
Yep.
We're on the west side.
This is the Queen's Park of Phoenix.
Very,
yeah,
very
right.
statuesque.
This is called the Encanto District. The old houses, like the one on the right here. This old one over here is still in use in the park, and of course our.
Gary.
That's the ship's bell off the USS Arizona, up against the building over there.
Jackie.
Okay, guys. Big menorah, you gotta be kidding. We're at South Mountain Park. There's Phoenix.
South end. Oh, okay. So it's in right around that area. But I think it's that's a saguaro cactus.
Look at the cactus over there.
I mean, this is great, but we don't have much of a phone. How is there any phone?
Downtown, it's right down there.
Downtown.
Hi, Dad.
Oh, look at all the gunshots in the barrel.
Yes, that's one of the diseases with the cowboys.
Yeah.
Look at this. Imagine a park this size inside the Toronto city limits.
I caught you.
Daddy!
Alex, it's okay, honey.
Go!
I'm getting Jackie up on top.
Go!
Here, come
Alex.
Daddy!
Don't videotape Alex.
Where's Leah?
I'm not.
Where's Leah?
Good climb, Jackie. Good climb, Jack.
Can I?
Keep your balance.
Kelly, you don't listen.
Leah's probably in the washroom.
No, come on. Where is she really?
I have no idea.
So what do you think about being back in Phoenix, Gary?
I think it's beautiful.
Can you move here?
Nope.
Isn't that pretty? Oh, it's
That's South Mountain, I guess. Whatever peak range that is. Jackie?
Yeah. Wait, how should I go?
Here we are, Dead Kids Cliff.
Dead Kids Cliff.
You're laughing at your kid I'm talking
Alex, move. It's so creepy. He's not moving.
gorgeous out here. You know?
Dad!
No, not up there. That's not a nice. It's not a nice picture. I said.
They're hiking. Oh, look at. Hey, cousin Gaggy
Don't open
Waggy.
it.
Right.
Crazy Wazy?
Crazy Wazy. So who's that guy with the camera? He's following me around, making me nervous. Welcome to Dead Kids Cliff up here.
Oh, there's Leah. Yeah.
Who's that?
That's David. Or is it?
No, it's Jonathan.
Somebody, or Jonathan, because I thought David went down there. I could have sworn I saw David.
He's scouting for a location.
Daddy. Hello. Stop it! Our bus.
It's hard to... I think we should stand here for 20 minutes and decide where to take it. Where's the locations go? David? Come on, let's go.
Let's do it, guys. Come on, cameraman.
Start coming up with a good idea. We will think on it.
You want to try it?
Well, I'd like to try one that way. What's one shot?
Okay, where's Junior?
Right here.
Junior. Junior Alex.
Junior, over here.
Jonathan, not here.
Stripping
This isn't LA, you know.
Stripping for the...
Oh, there's another one.
Where's Metal?
Okay, everybody in order of size.
Okay, good, John.
Who's the next shortest person? Jan.
Tell Marty.
No,
I thought I
I'm
said.
taller than Jan.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think it sucks. I don't
Jan.
think you can do it.
Okay. Oh, stand further back. Come here. Yeah, get your camera.
So then you won't recognize anybody.
You gotta get in, let Roy take it with your
No,
camera.
but I got to set it up.
Okay. Mo, you're tall. Come down here. Ira, sorry, Marty, you go down there. Roy. Larry, Mary.
You'll have to go back a little.
Thank you for humoring me. I get some input this entire weekend.
Come on in and get in.
Gary, you got to get in there.
Janet, you can't
You
stand
get in
there,
here.
sweetie.
Are you taller than I
Janet, you
am?
can't stand there.
I don't know, 5'11". I've been
Okay,
drinking.
you may have to walk back a little bit, but it's panoramic.
Gary,
Hey,
get
that's
your
funny. I'm 5'11" too.
Get your ass in.
Gary, get your ass
Oh,
in
he's
here.
got bigger shoes than me.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Mara, yeah, you're about 5'10".
I'm not. I'm 5'8".
We can even do a semicircle if it doesn't fit in the frame.
Oh, Marnie, move over.
Alex,
Okay, Gary, you're in there. Come on.
Holland.
We're on our way up to the top of the
Like he even died.
Almost there. No, not there. We have to
Huh?
go
No, not there.
Get over to the back of the hotel. We're not going to the top. I just told you.
I know, but
You've heard about these flash floods that happen out there?
Not really.
Well, they were talking about the washes. What year was that year?
That was 78.
Calcavecia, the golfer. There's Ryan Sandberg, the baseball player. There's a lot of athletes live there.
That's
A
Alatuki.
lot of family stuff, or is it all the same?
Yeah.
That's part of
No,
Alatuki.
it's family.
And if I keep going, I'll get all of Alatuki.
Look at Jackie. Look, Jackie's down there.
Falling over the edge.
She's a Holiff. She lives on the edge.
you can see a better view.
Gary wants to know what that all of
See, Jonathan got caught on. Come down here, it's a better view. I don't know why they didn't.
And there goes cousin Jonathan
I'm telling you
Turn
now.
off that damn camera.
into Alatuki land.
There's a lot of check this out.
Jackie, what are you doing? Oh, you.
There's a lot of.
Staying low because if I roll.
This is open to itself now? Yeah. Open to itself now.
This is Radio Tower on the top of South Mountain, overlooking the beautiful valley of Phoenix. One second. It's okay, Jack. Just watch your step. Don't go fast, because you don't want to tumble down there.
Oh, you can see the pools, huh?
Well, I can.
God, this looks like an ancient city or something.
It does.
Doesn't it?
This is where all the athletes live.
It looks like a big railway. Not lean back.
Hi, Daddy.
Kelly?
Don't lean back.
Where are you, Kel?
You're crazy.
Okay, towers, and then we're going to overlook the valley of Phoenix. There's Camelback Mountain. We're at the Scottsdale Art Center, Civic Plaza, Civic Center, whatever it is. And we just ate a beautiful meal at Backstage Theater. We're just going to walk around this circle. Say hi, Jan.
Sure. Don't listen to anything she says. Don't listen to her.
Okay, Kelly. It's a promise. Trip though to Vermont. Of course.
In the summer, and then we'll go.
Would you buy a used car from this man?
Ray Charles over here. Oh.
The worst part is the sun isn't out.
Oh, the one with 2 kilometers.
Do you guys want to go down to the fountain by
No, it's like that.
Oh, I'm sure it is. What is it? A menorah?
A menorah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, there's a menorah.
No, that's a menorah.
There's a menorah.
Right there. A modern looking one. And they're doing it day by day. This is a good coloration. Yeah.
No, you're not doing it. I just barely made it to you.
Yeah, that's why I'm not doing it. I could probably do it. How far is that?
No.
I'm not doing it. How far is that?
It's like
that
6
far.
feet.
It's not 6 feet.
If I lay down,
You're nuts.
That's not 6 feet.
Gary, think I can make this jump?
Yeah, I just saw you do it. I got it on video. Jonathan? Wait, let me start it off by saying, just in case you missed, so we can send it in to America's Funniest Video. This is Cousin Jonathan from Los Angeles.
Just didn't overlook this?
And he's about to make, or about to attempt. Whoa, very close.
That's not 6 feet.
That's 6 feet.
No, it isn't.
It's 6 feet if it's happening.
You did that to me already.
We're all nuts.
I'm 5'4". That's not 6 feet.
Yeah. Well, everyone, I don't know whether you heard this or not, but everyone's just wandering around on their own here. As long as we meet back there.
See, look, I could probably do that.
Yeah.
Take
Well,
off right here at this bluff.
From where? That line to this line?
Oh, that's good.
This line? Yeah.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's look at this.
Hold on.
Oh, you know what?
Leave me alone.
Paparazzi, I'm telling you.
Orange.
Hey, Gary. How you doing? Dave.
She's a devil may care kid.
She's trying.
Not afraid. And she's doing, that's dangerous up there.
Not that dangerous.
That's smooth rock. I don't.
No, she's fine. She's no fear.
She's doing fine.
Jonathan's right here.
Well, Jonathan's a goofball too, so. You want to see something strange? Just going through there, there's. Well, there are. No, no.
You're not allowed to shoot pictures of me.
I'm not putting. Hang on.
Why don't you just quit now?
I'm quitting on New Year's Eve.
Well, what was that for the record? Sorry.
I'm quitting on New Year's Eve.
All right. Well, you heard it live. This is exclusive.
You have to stay on it though.
I know.
Because my dad said it's hard. You never just like to find out.
New Year's
Where the
Eve.
heck did they go? Jackie! Yeah.
Trying to get the kids to come see this over here. For life. I mean, swans. There was one left alive.
Look at her, so beautiful. Look at the
They are
wings.
beautiful.
The swans mate for life, so the one swan was left with no mate and it died.
It died without the mate.
Yeah.
This is very pretty.
I think they're looking for us to show food or something.
I thought you were videoing. There's a good climbing tree back there.
There's a good what?
I found a good climbing tree and I started hanging on to it and I was kicking. I think they think you have food.
A freak?
No, I think
I'm a
they
freak.
think you have food.
I'm a disco freak.
We're trying to head back to the
Yes, I think pretty close to time.
All good things must come to an end.
Oh, you didn't call me honey. Honey, you didn't call me honey.
See what I said to that? Yeah. So not you said. You said you didn't call him honey. He likes.
It is a little tacky, but it's fun too. going to take a fast peek. Fast peek.
This guy's spying on us. Pervert.
Call him Cokie or Coco? Cokie, Cokie. Cokie, Cokie. No, Cokie.
We're in Myra's house,
Which is so cool.
which is so cool.
Hey, this is my daughter Samantha. No. Funny, I recognize Kim's last name because I have his brother who's a plastic surgeon, Jeffrey Pitak. Have you heard of him? Yeah. Pitak. Oh, you're Samantha? Oh.
My son, Trey.
Good. Good.
My boy in the Marines.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Daughter Samantha.
oh, look at this. This is hysterical. How can you tell the families here? Gary has had this attached
We've
to
got
his...
Kim making an edible meal. Thank God.
Yeah, as opposed to my cousin Myra, who
Look
can't
at this.
cook worth a
Look
damn,
at
right?
this.
Oh, look at this. Myra, did you make any
I made
boxes?
most of those. Except the ones with all the beads that comes from...
Look at the different colors in this place. This camera won't pick it all up.
The one that's a real professional box. You'll be able to tell.
Look at that.
Start doing something.
Look at Daddy, this is Kelly. Hey, give me one, give me one.
Yeah.
1 second. Daddy.
No, we're just going to copy all these designs and everything.
Yes. No, I'm busy right now.
Samantha, how old is that little dog? Yours?
Mine is 7.
7 years?
Yep.
Wow.
We both adopted them now.
At the Humane Society.
Uh-huh. Oh, Gary is over. Gary has been doing that.
Well,
I didn't know it was okay. No, it's not. In this house it is, because I'm her mother. Yeah. I should have asked. Yeah.
But I'm 3D.
Oh, it's a 3D picture. It's a, oh, don't touch them. Don't tell them. Put them all.
oh, there's Jonathan.
Hi, Gag.
That's the loft. Is that where you sleep?
Yep. This is the guest room.
That's great. Mind you, not much privacy up there.
No, but I close mine.
That's great.
He doesn't have much.
What a design.
It's a nice house.
Oh, this is fabulous. Just
Let's have a
fabulous.
drink.
Let's have a drink.
Yeah, they're all on there.
What's the name again, Daddy?
Whose name? Jonathan.
Jonathan!
Yes, Alex.
Look at this.
What's your name again?
Alex.
No, wait. You're.
Alex. Alex.
You know what? You should put those down.
Right there, or don't do them at all.
Come on. You're not feeling well.
I'm not worried about that, I'm worried about the bunch.
Are you opening over? No, just open one red and one white.
You sure,
What are your
Myra?
kids
You want to
drinking?
just maybe do one at a time, and we'll.
Okay, open the red to start. What do you drink?
This is the Holiff reunion.
Any particular one, Mommy? Red. What do you drink, Gary?
Everybody, somebody. Oh. Here, somebody's coming. You have no idea who it is, are you?
No, no.
I go right now.
We're gonna find out who's coming. Somebody's coming.
Come on in.
Jackie Kelly.
We're going to have a caricature taken.
Oh my
That's
God.
amazing.
This is
Oh
David. He's
my
going to take
God.
everybody.
No idea.
You knew something was
How you doing?
Everybody's photographing him. He's going to think our family is crazy, which we all know it is anyway. So.
But for the benefit of Saul and Jeff and Stephen and everybody else who isn't here,
Do we have to draw these, David? Do we have to draw these?
Myra, you think he's a little personable?
Yeah.
He's a,
Is that hysterical?
oh, he's secure. David, excuse me, David.
That means you can sit still for 5 minutes.
Now let me ask you one other question, David. What kind of money do you make?
Yeah, well, he just said to me, boy, you must be rich.
Do you charge on a per character basis, or is it a lot job?
Who said that?
He looked at me and said, wow, this is, oh, yeah. Samantha, help him get him. Larry of Portugal.
Jeff, do you want to come with me?
He said to me, he walked around like this and said, oh, this is really nice. Well, he must be rich. Honest to God. Yeah, it used to be. Anything else? What do you want? There's nothing here. There's diet drinks and the soda pop and the can. There's juice in the refrigerator. Well, what would you like? What would you like? Ask her. Something. Jackie, what would you like to drink? Jackie, what would you like? I've got other things in the kitchen. I've got lots of juice. I've got other. I've got, what would you like?
The dog.
You like hockey?
Oh.
To say I love my mother, Alex.
Oh, yeah, right.
Did you like that? He stopped. He knew the hockey. He knew the baseball.
Alex, watch that. Watch the light, Alex. Watch the light.
When I go like this,
Don't touch.
Okay, Alex, you're going to choose one sport. So you want to be...
What sport?
it's up to you, honey.
I don't know.
We're on the bus tour.
Baseball or
Why don't you go with baseball this time?
Nah, you do what you want, babe.
It's a bus tour to see the city with the South. What's the story with...
Right?
Well, we gotta wait till the end.
Yeah. And then I'll check and see about a taxi if
And I
necessary.
think the airporter, we have to, they usually come very early because they pick up 3 or 4 other people.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think so.
I don't even know what a
So
taxi.
Alex wants to be a hockey player.
Here's the tape.
Remember where to look. Let him see your face, Alex.
Alex, stop looking.
Just look and stay still.
Alex, how old are you? 7, me too. And what school do you go to?
Probably 47.
Me too. Wow. Oh, boy.
I'm guessing.
47? Close. The kid's right on. He's so close, it's scary.
What school do you go to, Alex? Okay, look where you're supposed to look. Dave, you're from Arizona?
Yeah. I'd love to talk and draw at the same time.
No problem.
I really need to concentrate on doing this.
No problem.
Okay, it's my turn for getting my picture. Oh, who's that little person in there? What have we got here? Oh my goodness.
Can I have it for a second? One
Kel,
minute.
just a second, okay?
Please. I'm in charge of the camera.
Kel, I want to take
Tell
care
him you're a babysitter.
He's like a cartoon character.
Your cousin. Oh, she is.
Oh my gosh, it looks so much like him. Make his hair a bit longer and it looks so much like him.
I love it.
He's good.
Doesn't that look so much like him?
Hello? Hello?
Please do it.
Yeah, 1 second.
Jonathan!
Oh, JJ. Oh, JJ? Where's old JJ?
Larry.
Hello?
Jonathan!
He's on the phone.
He's upstairs.
Where is he? Did you leave it in the office, Martha? No, maybe I left it over here. Larry, is that your wine or is this my wine?
They spend time together, these dogs?
Only when I go out of town or something. Once in a while.
Amazing, isn't it, Kel?
I'm okay with them on the sofa now.
Cece, come here.
I didn't think so.
Come here, Cece.
Get one, get them both.
Yep, here.
Sit. Yeah, mama. Sit. Shh.
I did not know that.
See?
From all the people we've ever hired with the functions, Gary, have you ever seen anything that good? Gary?
It's so Alex, it's unbelievable.
Mara, what time is Jonathan leaving?
I mean, this is a framework.
He has a 10 to 9:20.
What a great saying for him.
I don't know. She was coming separately because.
Oh, is he good, Gary?
Amazing how
He's good, huh?
And that was coming from.
Dave Riggs. We live on Riggs Court in Canada. Yeah.
Hi,
Uncle.
Hello, Father. There's a hi, daughter. Daughter, Father.
Sit there.
Sit back. No peeking. We caught it before he peeked.
Oh no! I forgot to tell him when I give guys a peek. Lipstick. Yeah. Oh
I have no idea. What the heck is that? I don't get it.
Maybe Kelly is on it.
What?
Maybe Kelly is on it.
Can I?
Look at this, Kelly. Watch this.
It's like a two-way.
Oh my God. Marty,
I know.
wipe them out. There's two little.
One step I get.
I know. You came here for a rest, buddy. Poor thing.
Shadow, or whatever you call it. Shadow.
No. Or a bigger one.
Oh, they are. I think John.
no! Round of applause for Alex.
All right, Alex.
Look at his face.
Good sitter. Yeah. Alex did a marvelous job of just sitting there. How old are you again? 7 years old. For a 7-year-old guy, boy, I tell you.
He's good, isn't he?
He's so good, he gets a garbage bag for it. Yeah.
All right, Alex.
Yeah. There we go. We're gonna put that
That's
in.
amazing, Dave.
All set. There you go, buddy.
Wow. What do you say, Alex?
Can I go next?
Look.
Can I go next? Myra?
Jonathan.
Is he good or what?
Look at his face.
I'm going.
Alex, get
See, there's your commercial, Dave.
Yeah.
Right there.
You should be an artist.
He is an artist.
Isn't that
When I
amazing?
grow up, I might be.
Can I see Alex?
Okay, you can get out of the chair now, Alex.
Oh, that's great.
Jonathan's gonna sit down.
We're here. We were here early. 6:15.
David's walking over.
We were worried about you.
Worried?
Yeah.
Why? Where's David? Is David here?
Oh no, I thought he was with you.
No, we shouldn't have let him walk. You know that?
Right here.
That's why.
Oh, what's
You want them up there or not?
this? Who's doing this?
I said, you want
I don't have to finish the sentence.
I said, you want them up there?
Oh, look at
Oh, is that his
Down. See?
Wow.
Okay, get out there. Get out.
It's okay. Socks and
Oh, Myra, We're going to. Samantha and I are going to.
Oh, you've been planning this?
Yeah, we're
I don't want to take anybody else away from the party.
Fine.
Well, then you should walk.
Like, really?
Well,
I know where you get it
slaved in a
from.
hot kitchen for 6 hours
Oh,
to get this
sure.
ready.
Yeah.
And
So you'll eat fast.
No,
and they'll finish when they
we
get
don't
back.
leave for an hour and 10 minutes.
He doesn't want to feel bloated on the street. I'll take you.
Thank you.
I win, but I can't drive. And on top of that, I don't have a car.
Other than those minor details.
Other than that, I would drive you.
Larry got a nice big hand.
Oh, that'll put a curse on it.
No, I mean the whole thing, the whole, isn't it? Look at it.
It looks like Elvis.
Yes, it does.
Whole
No,
lot
it
of
doesn't.
chicken
It
going
looks
on.
like chicken.
Nice to be
No,
back.
just a lot of top.
Actually, you know who it looks like? Well, it looks like Jonathan.
Elvis Stoico.
It looks like Stephen. Cousin Steve, my nephew Stephen. You're a mercenary. Would you be disappointed?
Sorry, it's a long one.
September
The Hollywood Madison Group.
Right. And there's a dash joining the words Hollywood and Madison together.
Gary,
Hollywood Madison.
Gary, you are so.
Myra doesn't like the name.
I don't. I
The
do.
name of the company.
Hollywood Madison? Absolutely. Samantha likes it.
You get it?
Totally.
Hollywood like the town.
Doesn't say what we do.
I don't know what Madison means, but it sounds classy.
HMG. HMG.
What does it mean to you, Larry? Hollywood Madison Group.
Madison Avenue
Right?
and
Famous for
Hollywood,
what?
Hollywood, Florida.
Madison for advertising.
Hollywood
It doesn't
For
sound like
entertainment.
a
It doesn't sound like good luck. Thank you very much. George,
Shoot.
Yes.
A little more towards you. That's right, because I don't want the flashback.
Larry and Gary, Samantha's first sale was today.
I heard.
Right. Isn't that fabulous?
All right, Canadian.
First
Yeah.
sale. All right.
Isn't that funny with this weekend?
And I was going to say, when
Well, look at Jack today.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Looks like Alex a little bit.
Whoa.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Don't tell me what's in the picture, okay?
Nope, we're not going to tell you.
Isn't that funny? Canadian sale.
We're going to tell you that there is a nose and that there are 2 eyes.
No, there's gonna be 3 eyes.
Look up where you were.
Do you want red?
Okay.
Okay.
Larry's here. Yep.
Okay, everybody's here.
We've been counting all day.
We're all here.
when,
Does it look? Who are we missing?
when Larry called me, when Larry called me and first told me about that he and Saul had talked about doing the first Holiff reunion, we talked about what we were going to do here. And one of the things that Larry suggested was a toast to our grandparents. And for those that, I'm going to just explain a couple things because the kids might be not understanding who all this is. For the little Holiffs, our grandparents, that means Myra and Larry, and Gary and I, and Jonathan, all have the same grandparents. That's Esther and Joel. That's my father's mother and father. I hope that's not too confusing for you guys. Joel and Esther. And when I was thinking about this, and I've never done a toast before, so bear with me here. I was thinking about this. I thought about the fact that what would it be like at the time that Joel and Esther were born back in Russia? Joel, just to give an example, Joel was born in 1884, okay, a long time ago. And to put things in historical perspective, 8 years earlier, Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. So the phone had only been around for 8 years, in 1884.
And not widely available.
Pardon me?
And not widely available.
Right, and all Holliffs would be in deep trouble.
All day long.
And that's just wouldn't have made a sale.
That's right. And to put things in perspective, in 1901, when Joel was just 17 years old, Marconi invented the radio waves, which later led to many other things. 1903, the Wright brothers did their first flight. Okay, that was the first time there were any planes. Just think about it. Joel was how old? 19 years old when the first, and so just listen to some of the things that he went through in his life that we just take for granted now. You know, we flew out here from Toronto in 4 hours and 15 minutes. It would probably have taken Joel and Esther to get from Toronto or London to Scottsdale
well, boy, I wouldn't even guess what that would be, months? Months to get out here, what we just take for granted. In 1908, the first car, Henry Ford, and he was only 24 years old, and there wasn't even cars yet where people got around. So I'm just trying to put all this in perspective. It's just mind-boggling to me to think about it. And of course, later he had his own car. And you probably know that he came over from Russia in 1913, or some of you know. He was born in a small town, or actually a small shtetl, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Wallachis, is that right, Dad? Wallachis, which is about 100 miles southwest of Kiev, during the anti-Semitic pogroms of Russia. Okay, so he came over first without Esther, okay, because I guess, from what I understand, he did not have enough money to bring over the two of them, and he was settling first, getting things going, and of course Esther stayed with Anne Paquin. So picture this, it came over on the boat. Sorry?
Esther stayed with Anne Hull.
Anne Hull, sorry.
That's right.
Yes, okay.
She began Paquin later.
Right, but talk about, let's just move forward a little bit. As you know, he got over here and he settled in London, Ontario, and everybody knows some of those stories, so I'm not going to get into a long thing here, especially because everybody's hungry. But I will say that, you know, in the time that he came over in London, and Holiff and Holiff's got going, and then of course he called for, or he sent money to Esther to come over, and she came over like, I believe it was 10 years later. 7 years later? Okay. Leave it to a non-Holiff to figure that out.
With her little girl of 8 years old, Anne.
Right. Came over, and we won't get into all the stories about what happened with her luggage and all that right now. But here's the other thing I was thinking about, and I was talking to Larry Marnie a little bit about this. Talk about progress or changing times. 50 years ago, talk about how we take things for granted. Back in roughly 1947, exactly 50 years ago, probably everybody in the Holiff family lived within 120 miles from London to Toronto to Hamilton, that whole area. And I hope I'm right on this, but I think everybody, including your mom and Anne, was still there. Okay? Now, here we are 50 years later. Talk about a good reason for a reunion. Josh is in Whitehorse, Yukon. Jonathan's in LA. My sister Lori's in Vermont. Myra and Dad and Jan are all in Phoenix. Samantha's here. Who? They're listening. Do your sales with Coco in the line. And of course, Janet, Gary are in Richmond Hill, which is another world completely too. And on and on and on. And it's
Larry Marnie
in Hamilton.
Saul and Barbara in Victoria.
Saul and Barbara in Victoria.
Kelly, Alex, and Jackie in Nosebleed territory.
Yeah. So my point is that
Stephen is in Toronto and Jeff's in Burlington.
Jeff's in Burlington. But talk about wandering Jews. I mean, you know, we're like
orange
family
juice.
Wandering. Sorry.
Orange juice.
Wandering Jews.
Oh.
Okay. And the point is that 50 years later, we're all over the world, or at least all over North America. So therefore, a real good reason for a reunion. We've really spread around, and in the old days, you know, probably Joel just hopped in his 1913 shiny Essex. Is that the right car?
I think he did, didn't he?
He had an Essex, Dad?
No, he had an Essex, but it wasn't
He had an
1930. It was much
car.
later
Well,
on.
1920 Essex, sorry.
Somebody in the late 20s, I think.
And he would drive down to Toronto, but you know, look how things have changed. The other thing that I want to mention is that, and this is still mind-boggling to me, is that, you know, we talked about us being adventurous. Look what he did. He came over. Well, first, Joel, I mean, I'm not going to say one was more courageous than the other. They
By
both were in
steamship.
their own way. Sorry?
By steamship.
By steamship to the New World, braved with very little money, braved not knowing what was going to happen here.
No language.
No language.
No language.
Very difficult.
Very few friends, and started a whole brand new life. And you know, when you think about it, none of us would be here tonight if it wasn't for Joel and Esther starting that. So
back to the toast.
Yeah.
Take that last. None of us would be enjoying the good life if it wasn't for the fact that they risked their lives and worked day and night, which I've heard they did. And I don't know them well, so I just know a lot of this from stories. Obviously, I was only a little kid. But can we have, would you join me for 1 minute of silence in thanks to our grandparents, Joel and Esther. And that's it. You can drink and do whatever you want.
Very nice day.
I've never seen a kid so quiet. First of all.
And it's funny, because talking about their life, and we'd all be in Russia now, we wouldn't be able to eat the food we're going to eat now.
Love kids. I love kids.
And go to the Fiesta Bowl.
All you three.
They're brave. There's lots of people stay there. They were so brave.
Look at that. Isn't that fabulous? Look at you.
Larry told Samantha, she said, oh, I have her luggage, Gary.
I asked if that was a drum merchant, and then they said no.
Mother could just go with the camera.
Now, Dave.
Should I tell them about business in the other hand?
It was all stolen. Everything she had saved
Uncle, I'll
was
bring it in
all
a minute.
stolen.
Congratulations on my sale today, for the record.
David?
What was that, Mara? I couldn't hear you.
Would you start right now? Thank you. Is this good enough? Tell me, Mommy, are these brownies? No.
Ah, that's good.
Jan, you don't eat this.
Is
Oh, yeah. Bean cake. Oh, Larry. Oh, God. I love it.
Isn't that great?
I wanted the kids to eat on real china, but perfect. Jackie says fantastic.
Would you tell me what very much?
Isn't that great?
Oh, you did
All new to me today.
Now you're playing me. How come you didn't tell me that?
Well, how about the other
I've already learned already about that.
How about the other expression?
Sure. Yes.
Why don't you have something first?
There was a TV show called Four Star Theater, and it came on the stories from around the world. You know what? It started off from London, from Rome, from Paris, and at that moment Zeta would always say St. Thomas.
Oh, yeah, right. No, that's right.
Why St. Thomas is, I know it's near London.
Yeah, suburb.
Did he have any
It's a real
friends or
jerky little small town.
was there any significance? Were there any people?
No, it's like
Oh, I know, I understand. No, I understand that. I understand that. I understand that part. I thought maybe you had a friend in St. Thomas too.
Okay. Right?
Friend was not the factor.
No, St. Thomas was the closest little.
Remember the Barry Levinson movie? You cut the turkey
Come on,
without
Alex.
In which there's a front page article about Canada's economy and how things are
Jackie.
turning around, and she gave it to us to read.
You see my beads
And the
up there?
lead in this article, and the person who's quoted in this article is Ron Buckland.
Who's she co-chairs with?
Dad, I'm going to bring it home a little closer.
What's the unemployment rate now?
It's the fastest
And
turnaround.
look in the closet, the big closet.
Of any country in the G7.
It's all beads
Can you
and
make any comment about
fabrics.
how long it took for all this to happen? The
They're
fastest
doing better than
turnaround
anybody
now.
else.
Wow.
They said they're doing better
Aren't
than
they
anybody
nice?
else in the G7.
Yeah.
Really? That's what the article said.
Do you believe
But
that?
no, no, at downtime, they did worse of all the
Better
G7
than
countries.
any
We suffered
country in
most,
the G7 haven't
yes,
been the worst.
in 91.
Like look in the valley, Jane. See all that pollution?
Yeah.
That to me is smothering. That's claustrophobic to me. I can't live in that. You too?
U.S. migrants began to settle the territory almost immediately, spurred on by the discovery of gold in California in 1848. Between 1840 and 1870, more than 350,000 Americans traveled by covered wagons across the Overland Trail.
It's December 28th, 1997, and we're at Wrigley's Mansion for the Holiff reunion.
I've been following.
Hi, Sam.
I've been following you've been getting a lot of press lately. Very good.
You know what I want to tell you? You were working for other companies, what's it called? United Way came out 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Hello, Jan.
You take whatever you want.
Hi.
You have a really good still camera. How do you take
No, I haven't really got a good one, but I've got a basic instamatic that will do. There's Matthew, little Matthew over there. Okay, I'm gonna. Hi, Betty.
Thank you, guys.
I'm the official videographer. Hey, Ellie.
Does he look a lot like your brother?
Yeah.
Irving knows, he knows everything. So what do you do? Yeah, don't need to use the pool.
You live in the
Yeah.
Nice seeing you back again. And Jonathan just flew in last night.
What have we got? This is locks. So actually,
Yes, it is.
This is so beautiful. This is so elegant. David, what did you say before I picked up the camera? This is the way something about,
I said, Jen, that was the way we used to live.
before I came into the family. Thank you, David.
It's all your fault, Janet.
Coming back for seconds.
This is one of the smaller suite bathrooms.
So you know, it's all like gum that we used to have. Where you put out and buy this place. That gum, that's right. He also owned the baseball team too. Chicago? Wrigley Field.
Wrigley Field. That's right.
Also,
This was one of his six. I think this was his. He had 6 mansions. This was his smallest. And he was on Catalina Island. That's right. We used to live in a
Jan, beautiful. This is beautiful.
Misty in the Rich's house. His daughters, Dee Rich and Misty Rich was in my class. Around the corner.
Does anybody know what that's been? I've been eating it and I'm trying to yeah, I saw in the paper.
You know how they pull out the names?
Isn't this the rudest thing I could possibly do, huh? Everybody take a big mouthful.
Yes, I was there. Top story in 97. Vice Simon was her son.
Eliyahu. Eliyahu.
That's the house. It's gone now, it's torn down.
So that's her?
Yeah.
Well, that's not the one that was saying, that was her house.
Yes, that was her house.
Her house?
Yes. Which one?
I don't know how we wind up with the next one.
Simon.
Their daughter, whatever it is, my son.
Yes. That was her. I know, but see, she was really.
I thought maybe you wanted some space.
The camera caught her. That's a very embarrassing picture.
Terrible. Makes you look like real.
When I was in August, break my brother just views my company. And they live downtown.
I listened to Janet laugh. This girl.
They're all his. I know they're all but they're all yours.
It's so funny what people do when the camera's on them, huh?
The first thing they do is stop moving. After all, it's a moving picture, right? Please take a picture.
So, what do you think of this first reunion of the Holiff plus Friends clan?
Elastic back.
Yeah, she wants her, stop the camera.
Stop to.
Can you zoom on my lapel pin? My lapel pin is from the Super Bowl.
Are you going this year?
Negatory. The Super Bowl held here 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. And hello,
I'm back.
And it's Larry's Darky tribute.
So Chris, on behalf of me and Miss Year, I want to express deep and warmest felicitations to my favorite uncle.
Marty, anything to say?
Larry always thinks.
Oh, right. I've heard different. Hey, good looking.
Oh, that's neat. You knew who she meant. Say something for the camera.
Say something to the camera, Chris.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here for the Holiff reunion. I also wish Murray or Mr. Holiff, as I would call him, a very happy birthday.
Nice.
It's really a wonderful thing to be here. It's our pleasure, my pleasure. Wish Mo the best of everything and many more.
I think you.
Same, Esther? And I'm sure you have lots to say.
I'm very unhappy to be here. This is an event that I can't stand having all my family here together. When are you going to return ticket on you? No, my uncle knows how I feel about it.
Samantha, just say hi to the camera, pretty.
I'll just dab like
Read my lips.
Come on. First Holiff reunion with friends.
Are you Morris? His birthday coming up. The 6th of January.
You can talk.
I want you to come back to very close. What do you have to say?
Take a lot of tape
Hello.
Hello.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Kelly, say something to Grandpa, Maury, and Jan.
Food's good.
Food's good.
Jackie? There is. You want to say something?
Oh, yeah. I've got extras. Remember that was
Good.
I'm without words. Actually, what happened? These were pictures you took.
Yeah. No.
Sing it for Jen.
Some girl.
David?
I just want to tell you, this is the best food I've had in Phoenix. No. And since last night, I've been eating this great food to talk to you guys, so.
Gary?
Yes, I'd like to second that. And say that this is one of the best meals I've had since last night at 11 o'clock, since we had a great
Jan?
And Alex. Yep. I can't hear the whole table, but I can hear you. I'm ready. We're rolling, Bob.
Are we on?
We're on.
Is this on?
No comment. Stick it out of my face.
Would you love to have a piece of inside here and out on your top?
Let's get on to not coming to mind.
You can't drag that over. I gotta be speaking into it. I'm having a great time. Thank you.
Okay. And
Being put on the spot.
would you like to say something that's here?
Hi, parents.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Right there, Alex. Come on.
Can you see us?
Look at me, guys.
This is what you call a photo opportunity.
Put your head down, Maury. Maury, put your head down. Jan.
And keep your eyes open.
Yeah, perfect. Ready? Look at me, Maury. Don't move this time. Maury, look at me.
That's a great shot.
Beautiful.
Jen, you can send your copies to everybody.
Yeah, I'm going to get a copy of this.
Just dial 1-800. Send $14.95 plus shipping and handling. And
We'll do it, we'll do it.
Kelly, don't touch it. Ask my brother about that.
Come over here and show Larry that.
I heard, you know, that
I teach my students to
Over there.
That's the key. If you listen to the other you see yourself, you think about it, you see yourself, you do this. Okay?
That dessert.
Do the same stuff. At least you're lucky because it's all right. You can hear how that's.
I mean, the guy was just basically like, hey, let me tell you what we have going on over here. We're the largest trading.
Even though it's not you, so what it works.
Come into my office for a second. Go ahead. What? What do you want?
Now, hawk is where you get a guy jabbing the ball. You know when you're least expecting to have.
It says, whereas Maury Holiff has been a resident and conducted business in the Valley since 1969 and in Scottsdale for 12 years. And whereas Maury Holiff has been involved in community service and supported charities in the Valley. And whereas Maury Holiff is celebrating his 75th birthday on January 6, 1998. And whereas Maury Holiff's family and friends who have traveled from Canada and many parts of the United States are gathering on December the 28th, 1997 to celebrate this milestone in his life at a family reunion brunch. Now therefore I, Sam Campana, Mayor of Scottsdale, Arizona, do hereby proclaim January the 6th, 1998 as Maury Holiff Day. And urge all our citizens to join me in wishing Maury Holiff a very happy birthday.
Oh, that's nice.
You want to day off.
Day off. Congratulations. I don't think you guys heard that. You said you all have a day off. I just started on whatever day is next. Which one you
Mine too.
Sorry, you go. And I think I'm really gonna go there because it's warming up.
Let me put you back to the camera, JJ.
I've been in the business long enough. First of all, Gary and I, on behalf of the Holiff family reunion, it's great to have a special gift for my dad from all three of us kids. Unfortunately, my sister Lori couldn't be here. She's in Vermont.
Say hi, Lori.
Miss you, Lori.
Hi, Lori, and Tom, her husband. But we have a gift of the three of us, a special reunion gift, and I just want to read the card.
For the wisest and most respected. Anyway, I don't know if they can see.
Can you see this?
You can pass it around.
We'll pass it around. It's an old Indian.
Happy reunion, oh great one. To many more Holiff reunions and good times. Love, David and Leah. Wrong card. Hang on. Quick switcheroo. Anyway, yep, wrong card. But
Improvise. And Gary and Jan.
this is where the song and dance comes in. Anyway, give the present. We'll pass the wrong card around.
Sure, it's the right present. Okay.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Ah, these are my three little kids when they were about 4, 5, 6, something like that. You guessed on?
That's me.
Sure.
That's all right.
Next thing is, this is something something my sister Lori put together, thanks to Larry and Myra and everybody else that contributed with photos to this collage of my dad. My sister Lori spent a few months putting this together, so hopefully
Hopefully we can get into
hopefully
it.
we can.
There you go. All of that. Oh, that is more big. Oh, more big. Stand this up.
On behalf of the mayor of Scottsdale. Sorry, this is the mayor of Toronto, Vermont. This is a collage of many years of Holiff and Paikin and others, and friends and so on.
Lori did it.
Spent a couple months on that.
How old were you, Dad?
I was about 4 on that one, I think.
And you can see he hasn't changed since, right?
Snappy dresser.
Yeah, still a good dress.
That's great. It's December 28th, 1997, and we're at Wrigley's Mansion for the Holiff reunion.
I've been following.
Hi, Sam.
I've been following you've been getting a lot of press lately. Very good.
You know what I want to tell you? You were working for other company, which is called the United Vape. United Vape came out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Hello, Jan.
You take whatever you want.
Hi.
You have a really good still camera. How do you take it?
No, I haven't really got a good one, but I've got a basic instamatic that will do. There's Matthew, little Matthew over there. Okay, I'm gonna. Hi, Betty.
Thank you, guys.
I'm the official videographer. Hey, Ellie.
Does he look a lot like your brother?
Yeah. Nice seeing you back again. And Jonathan just flew in last night. What have we got? This locks. So actually, yes, it is.
This is so beautiful. This is so elegant. David, what did you say before I picked up the camera? This is the way something about...
I said, Jen, that was the way we used to live.
Before I came into the family. Thank you, David.
It's all your fault, Janet.
Coming back for seconds.
This is one of his smaller. So you know, there's all that gum that we used to have. Where you put on and buy this place. That's right. He also owned the baseball team too. Chicago. Wrigley Field.
Wrigley Field. That's right.
Also,
This was one of his six, I think this was his, he had 6 mansions. This was his smallest. And he was on Catalina Island. That's right. We used to live in a
Jan, beautiful. This is beautiful.
Misty in the Rich's house. His daughters, Dee Dee Rich and Misty Rich was in my house. Around the corner.
I've been eating it and I'm trying to determine.
yeah, I saw in the paper.
You know how they pull out the names?
Isn't this the rudest thing I could possibly do, huh? Everybody take a big mouthful.
Yes, I was there. Vice Simon was her son.
Eliyahu. Eliyahu.
That's the house. It's gone now, it's torn down.
So that's her?
Yeah.
Well, that's not the one that was saying, that was not her house, was it?
Yes, that was her house.
Her house?
Yes.
I don't know how we wind up with the next one.
Simon.
Their daughter, whatever it is, my son.
Yes. That was her. I know, but see, she was really.
I thought maybe you wanted some space for the show.
That's a very embarrassing picture.
Terrible. Makes you look like a real.
When I was in August, great, my brother was my company. And they lived downtown.
I listened to Janet laugh, the girl.
They're all his.
I know they're his, but they're all yours.
It's so funny what people do when the camera's on them, huh?
The first thing they do is stop moving. After all, it's a movie, right? Please take a picture.
So, what do you think of this first reunion of the Holiff plus Friends clan?
Elastic back.
Yeah, she wants her, stop the camera.
Stop to.
Can you zoom on my lapel pin? My lapel pin is from the Super Bowl.
Are you going this year?
It's negatory. The Super Bowl held here 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. And hello,
I'm back.
And it's Larry's Darky tribute on the wall.
So Chris, on behalf of me and Miss I want to express deep enormous felicitations to my favorite uncle.
Gary and Gary days first.
Marty, anything to say?
No, Larry always thinks.
Oh, right. I've heard different.
Arizona, and I just
Hey, good looking.
Oh, that's neat. You knew who she meant.
But,
Say something to the camera.
Say something to the camera, Chris.
well, it's a pleasure to be here for the Holiff reunion. I also wish Murray or Mr. Holiff, as I would call him, a very happy birthday.
Nice.
It's really a wonderful thing to be here. It's our place in my place. I wish all the best of everything and many more.
I think you
Same. Esther? And I'm sure you have lots to say.
I'm very unhappy to be here. This is an event that I can't stand having all my family here together. When are you going to return ticket on you? No, my uncle knows how I feel about it.
Samantha, just say hi to the camera, pretty.
I'll just dab like
read my lips.
Come on. First Holiff reunion with friends.
My dear Morris, he has a birthday coming up. The 6th of January.
You can talk.
You're very close. We're at Lori.
Hello. Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Kelly, say something to Grandpa, Maury, and Jan.
Food's good.
Jackie? Alex?
I made coffee.
Zeruz. You want to say something?
Oh, yeah. I've got extras. Remember that was there.
Good.
I'm without words. Actually,
Sing it for Jen.
David?
I just want to tell you this is the best food I've had since I've been in Phoenix. And since last night I've been eating this great food to talk to you guys, so.
Gary?
Yes, I'd like to second that and say that this is one of the best meals I've had since last night at 11 o'clock since we had a drink.
Jan?
And Alex. Yep. I can't hear the whole table, but I can hear you. I'm ready. We're rolling, Bob.
Are we on?
We're on.
Is this on?
no comment. Stick it out of my face.
Would you love to have a piece of here and out on your phone?
Let's get on 1 to 10, not counting the mic.
You can't drag that over. I gotta be speaking into it. I'm having a great time. Thank you.
Okay. And
being put on the spot.
would you like to say something that's here?
Hi, parents.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Right there, Alex. Come on.
Can you see us?
Look at me, guys.
This is what you call a photo opportunity.
Put your head down, Maury. Maury, put your head down. Jan.
And keep your eyes open.
Yeah, perfect. Ready? Look at me, Maury. Don't move this time. Maury, look at me.
That's a great job.
Beautiful.
Jen, did you send your copies to everybody?
Yeah. Get a copy of this.
Just dial 1-800. Send $14.95 plus shipping and handling. And
We'll do it, we'll do it.
Kelly, don't touch it. Ask my brother about that. Come over here and show
heard, you know, my
Over there.
That's the key. If you listen to the other you see yourself, you didn't think about it, you see yourself, you do this. Okay?
That deserves.
Do the same stuff you do. At least you're lucky because it's already paid. You can hear how that's I
mean, the guy was just basically like, hey, let me tell you what we have going on over here. We're the largest trading.
even though it's not you, so what works.
Come into my office for a second. Go ahead. What? What do you want?
Hawk is where you give a guy a jab and it's really know when you're at least expecting to have.
It says, whereas Maury Holiff has been a resident and conducted business in the Valley since 1969 and in Scottsdale for 12 years. And whereas Maury Holiff has been involved in community service and supported charities in the Valley. And whereas Maury Holiff is celebrating his 75th birthday on January 6, 1998. And whereas Maury Holiff's family and friends who have traveled from Canada and many parts of the United States are gathering on December the 28th, 1997 to celebrate this milestone in his life at a family reunion brunch. Now therefore I, Sam Campana, Mayor of Scottsdale, Arizona, do hereby proclaim January the 6th, 1998 as Maury Holiff Day. And urge all our citizens to join me in wishing Maury Holiff a very happy birthday.
Oh, that's nice.
You want to say
Day off. I don't think you guys heard that. They said you all have a day off. Whatever day is the 6th. Which one you get?
Mine too.
Sorry, you go. And I think I'm going to go there because it's warming up.
Put it back to the camera, JJ.
I've been in the business long enough. First of all, Gary and I, on behalf of the Holiff family reunion, it's great to have a special gift for my dad from all three of us kids. Unfortunately, my sister Lori couldn't be here. She's in Vermont.
Say hi, Lori.
Miss you, Lori.
Hi, Lori and Tom, her husband. But we have a gift of from the three of us, a special reunion gift, and I just want to read the card.
The wisest and most respected. Anyway, I don't know if they can see.
Can you see this?
We can pass it around.
We'll pass it around. It's an old Indian.
Happy reunion, oh great one. To many more Holiff reunions and good times. Love, David and Leah.
Wrong card.
Quick switcheroo. Anyway, yep, wrong card. But
Improvise. And Gary and Jan.
This is where the song and dance comes in. Anyway, give the present. We'll pass the wrong part around.
Okay,
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Ah, these are my 3 little kids when they were about 4, 5, 6, something like that. You guessed on? Sure.
That's all right.
Next thing is, this is something my sister Lori put together, thanks to Larry and Myra and everybody else that contributed with photos to this collage of my dad. My sister Lori spent a few months putting this together, so hopefully
we can get into it.
we can.
There you go.
On behalf of the Mayor of Scottsdale. Sorry, this is the Mayor of Toronto, Vermont. This is a collage of many years of Holiff and Paikin and others, friends and so on.
Lori did everything.
You'll see this one.
Lori spent a couple months on that.
For the sake of those who weren't sure, that's me, and I was a blonde.
How old were you, Dad?
I was about 4 on that one, I think.
You can see he hasn't changed since, right?
Happy dresser.
Yeah, still a good dresser, 4 years old.
That's great.
That's great.
That's beautiful.
All right.
Lori!
Did a beautiful job. Up there.
I don't know if you...
Put it on the chair.
That's a good idea.
Everybody walks by it.
Yeah, well, okay. Oh. Oh, no.
In the center?
Yeah.
There's one of your dad too, like that.
Yeah.
Who has it?
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from. Lori may have had it.
They're all stealing my pictures. Now they're coming back to me. There's a football game out there.
Jan, we do it.
I got water right now, it's contagious.
Does that mean no?
The
first one is 17 and 3.
Yes, right.
Who's the 17, Rich?
Yeah.
New England.
New England beating Miami.
Yay! Good.
This is going to be a very special present for Grandpa Maury, and this is Jackie's contribution.
Don't read it?
No,
She's going to
no,
read
you're-
it.
You can't read it. You got to open it. It's not-
Oh, okay. Okay. But you made it practically unopenable.
Dave,
Don't open it,
Dave.
don't read it, but it's for you.
Pass it. Pass it.
Yeah, don't look at it.
If he reads it first, you won't be surprised.
His assistant is opening it.
Yeah.
The one with the nails.
Yeah.
Jack?
this is a very, no, don't. Okay, very special. I wrote this poem for Grandpa Maury. You were born to your parents who were Esther and Jack. Love and support you never lacked. Brother and sister, Saul and Ann, knew you would be a successful man. In World War II, you were at the root when you taught people to parachute. I'll tell you how we all began. You met Joy Connie, Elkie Stan. You married a garden, in fact, a joy. With her you had your firstborn boy. After David came my dad. He never really made you mad. Next came Lori, your only girl. You were her oyster and she was your pearl. You do very well at things that you do. Ambassador Leather is how you grew. You now work at a business with listed mail order. It sells far past the USA border. Then came divorce, you changed your plan, things took their course, and you married Jan. You moved to Arizona in 1969. Down there you found life perfectly fine. Before I was born, my dad met his wife. But for us, they actually had a life. In 1985, I was my parents' first one. Boy, were they wrong when they thought they were done. In 1987, Kelly came onto the scene. When it comes to acting, she's always very keen. In 1990, Alex came out. Hi-ya! Then a scream, a cry, and a pout. We have a great family. We started with you. But there's more than us in the things that you do. Just like my Zadie, you love your jazz. To you, it's the best type that music has. You've always loved tennis, you're good at it too. In any position, you know what to do. You love gin and tonic with one piece of lime. You always make sure to have one at a time. Kelly, Alex, and I love you so very much. Though far away in miles, we still stay in touch. Right now we're together, sometimes we're apart, but forever and ever you'll stay in my heart.
So talented.
Let's go.
Alex, give me your present now.
It's not good.
It's not good?
Open it carefully.
He's very careful.
It's not good.
Maybe you better open it.
It's not good. It's not good. I know what it is. You know. I know what it is. It's so good. I should have erased it. No. I know what it is. Just a minute.
Wait a minute.
I know what it is. Hang on. Something what we're not going to go to.
Because I know what I'm ripping, I know how far I can rip.
It's not good.
It's good. It's good. It is good. Here you go. It's very good.
It's not good.
Alex.
It's very good. It's not good. It's not good.
It's a
It's
picture.
not good. Beautiful, Alex. It's not good.
Alex.
Alex. Tell him it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, Alex. I save you, Alex.
You know what present you can give me? Would you sing to me in French? That would be great.
How about Jingle Bells?
You can pick your own song.
Jingle bells.
Jingle bells. Oh, French.
You can do it. Maybe after all the people give the presents.
Okay.
Maybe after Kelly gives the present, I'll say.
Okay.
Don't.
Kelly, explain what this is as Grandpa Maury told me.
Okay.
It's a picture.
A picture?
I'm not supposed to look.
So nice.
By the way,
Something to do with
Alex.
Alex.
for those that don't know, Nellie just won her speech writing. She won the
Public speaking.
public speaking contest in her whole school.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with that.
And
She
just got the
she just got the lead in Bye Bye Birdie.
I love you.
Birdie.
Love.
That's okay.
Sing.
Kelly.
Read it.
Kelly
She's a
Hall.
grandmother.
Happy birthday. Now.
Here we go.
Oh!
Very good.
Sure. Yeah. And is this you in the background?
Kelly. Yeah, I don't know.
That's nice.
Maybe has her.
So nice. Okay.
Recycle those papers.
Okay. I'll have the bubble. Okay.
I just have to take some. I just take a rest.
Okay.
A rest. Get out of here.
I'll do it.
Wants to make an entrance. Just take a rest. Okay.
Some people make an entrance, some people make an exit.
Gary said some people make an exit.
Just keep singing and singing.
Gary, I hate to tell you who he reminds me of.
Okay.
Or any other song.
Or any other song. Yes, sing the two.
Get up.
Sing the two.
Come on.
Okay, superstar.
Jingle bell.
No.
Okay, then do that. Okay, go ahead.
Present her. Present her.
Presenting a Hanukkah song. What's in French? I think some of you know this. It's called, I don't know what it's called, but I'll just sing it. Probably know
Just sing it. Just sing it.
Presenting a Hanukkah song. Okay. Une flamme, deux flammes, trois flammes, quatre, cinq flammes, six flammes, sept flammes, huit, neuf flammes qui jouent dans la nuit. Hanukkah, Hanukkah très petit.
Very good.
Presenting Jingle Bell in French.
Okay.
En français.
Yeah. You maybe not know this, but it's in French, so.
Larry will know. All right.
Okay. Presenting Jingle Bell in French. Vive le vent, vive le vent, vive le vent d'hiver, qui s'envole son soufflant dans les grands sapins verts. Oh, vive le temps, vive le temps, vive sans l'hiver. Pour de neige et chute là et bonne des grand-mères. La neige est belle, qui salue du ciel. Voici le temps Noël, Noël Emmanuel. Je vous chante mes vœux, à cette bénédicte. Soyez tous heureux, que petit soyez. Oh, vive le temps, vive le temps, vive le temps d'hiver. Pour de neige et chute là et bonne des grand-mères. Hey!
Some more.
The song wasn't finished.
Keep going.
He's got a ventriloquist.
Oh, vive le temps, vive le temps, vive le temps d'hiver. Pour de neige et chute là et pas des grand-mères. Hey! Salut du ciel, voici le temps Noël. Noël, Emmanuel, je vous appellerai à cette bénédiction. Soyez tous heureux, que petit nous aïeux. Oh, vive le temps, vive le temps, vive le temps d'hiver. Qui se passe en soufflant la lèvre dans sa figure. Oh, vive le temps, vive le temps, vive le temps d'hiver. Pour le neige et chute là et pas des grand-mères. Hey! Take the clutch, take the clutch, and we go. Stop.
Alex in Chinese now. He'll do Chinese too. Oh.
His pronunciation is excellent.
Very good. Another Holiff is born.
David, you couldn't sing like that. No way.
Oh, God.
What was so funny about the, they mistook the chorus, she changed his plan.
Oh yeah, and close the door. Adios.
That's because it was funny, because it was very quick.
Okay.
The writing was perfect. The situation's fine.
Alex, get away from the door, please.
That was Jan. How about a few words?
A few words, yes.
Very
few words. On behalf of Jan and myself, I want to thank you very much for joining us for this reunion, Holiff reunion celebration, and what we hope will become an annual affair.
Oh, no.
I'm staying at your place next year.
Whoever knows Spanish a lot, you sing a song.
After all, we Holiffs have to stick together. There are very few of us left anymore. And we have to pin our hopes on guys like Alex. But he can't do it all. I'll have to pitch in and do our share. Alex has spent so much time under the table that we want him to stand up and say hello to everybody. Bonjour, maybe?
Bonjour, mes amis. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, bonjour, mes amis.
Upstaged by a midget. I especially want to thank our friends. You all know who you are, other than relatives, I'm saying, because my family had to come here, but couldn't have gotten out of it. Thank you very much. Next year, maybe in Toronto?
Yes.
Thank you again for coming. Oh, one more thing, I'm sorry. I spoke to Lori this morning. Most of you do know that Lori has a problem with flying, and she just couldn't get here, and she regrets it very much, and she's very unhappy about the situation, and we're going to all be talking to her later on today. But she misses being here, and I'm sorry that she couldn't.
And Saul too.
And Saul, and my brother Saul, I don't know whether many of my friends know Saul or not, but Saul was too ill to travel. He has something that is not, I don't think life-threatening, but it's something that prevents him from traveling. Otherwise, he would have been here as well. So thank you very much, and next year.
I didn't realize. I want to say thank you to Jan, my Auntie Jan, for being, first of all, for being there for my uncle through everything, thick, thin, and loving him the way she does, and being so loyal, and being such a wonderful aunt to me and friend to me, like a sister, to being there for my daughter Samantha, and for being, and believe me, being there for both of us through so much. And I need you to know, and I know I've told you, how much you mean to me.
Hear, 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 hear.
I do love you, Jan.
All right.
I moved here because of you two. And I'm
You'll be sorry.
You may move away because...
You both help fulfill my life and enrich my life.
Richmond?
Oh, God.
Dave?
Dave?
Dave, out of the way for 1 second. Guys, Otto wants to say something.
I would like to also say a few words.
Otto, move in a little bit, will you?
Okay.
Just, you're in front of the window.
Okay. I would like to say a few words. A lot of you don't know me. I was invited to Arizona by Murray Hall in, let me see, July of 1972. And I met him at the Pier Hotel together with Joy. And I came out to visit him in October to a place called Never Rains in Arizona. That day it was raining, but pretty good. And I spent 1 week with Murray at his company. He invited me to join his firm, one way or another, either working for him or outside.
Or against.
Yeah. And it just happened to be that for 1.5 years I tried working with as a partner to one of his major suppliers, and after that I joined the company. Unfortunately, I only had an opportunity to work with Murray 1 year. I learned a great deal, and then I got stuck for 15 years with a company called Ambassador. But I want to thank him. This is a very special occasion for the invitation, and it worked out very well. It was definitely a big change in my life, and I want you to know that. I appreciate it.
I hope it's a good change.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm still here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're now at Dad and Jan's. That's Coco. Is it Coco, Jackie? That's Myra's dog, Coco.
And she told me to watch him. Here. Sure,
Dave.
Starting again, huh?
Sure. Hey, that's my official job, right? There's cousin Marnie.
Are you having fun today?
Yeah, he's got a bit of a cold.
What else?
So you did piano also?
Me too. I took it until high school.
Fly, yeah. Yeah. Sure, used to fly 172s or Cessna 72 or 170. I can't remember. 172. You didn't know that? Yeah, you knew that. He was 18 years old. He had his license. We flew through the Grand Canyon. Oh, Kelly, is that beautiful?
The hair is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Fashion
Somebody's birthday boy.
Can I get you a drink?
Yeah, I'll take what you're having.
No, I'm having gin and tonic.
That's what I'm having.
All right. You got it, or almost.
Close it now. Oh, you played very well. I haven't seen this at all. Well, you are my sister. I love the same song. We got through it for you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you were good like this. Well, I can't. It's so hard to find them.
Now the rest is refrigerated, so the next one will be cold. Wait a minute, I'm just,
Let me ask you this. Have you ever, are you going to worry about, Sure, go to a cute guy. I don't blame you. Go to a cute guy.
girls, you want some chocolate milk? Or, I mean, I've got soda pop or chocolate milk. Which would you rather have? Chocolate milk, okay.
In the kitchen only.
Chocolate milk.
Got it? They have it, yes.
Really?
Yes.
That chocolate milk wasn't an option when we were talking about it.
No, I didn't mention it because it's only for the little kids. Jackie, did you want any chocolate milk or anything?
No.
Jackie?
And stay a while.
I just stopped wearing my glasses. He's not on the furniture, he's on me. I went to have my eyes examined and they told me I don't need one.
Yeah.
And you've been wearing
They often adjust.
They do?
It's often adjust. It doesn't always mean that you don't need glasses.
Well, he said it.
Because of the separation.
It's adorable. She's so kind of
Oh, hey. No, kill. Just a second.
I know 3 years ago from the rescue, and she was bleeding.
Not yet. Your hair is stunning, Kelly.
Yeah. We're very,
Oh, that must
oh my God.
she must be wrong. It's
Very loving to people.
I have a book. It's not all that.
Alex is very good.
It's a
I think Jackie should get that.
So I hear. So I hear.
As long as it's petting animals all day. She should own a petting zoo.
Petting school. She got petting zoo. Yeah, she's sleeping with her hands. That's right.
No, yes, and no.
She's
It's not hard.
She does. Yeah. That would be the name of the company. Healing. I like it.
Okay, Jackie, give Kelly a turn. It'll give you a chance to take off your coat. Go sit down there. A couple
Yeah, look like you're joining us, that you're staying
Jackie,
behind.
first are you go and try to get them, or you have a roster?
I have a roster, but they're not stars that I represent. It's a roster of over 5,800 celebrities from all walks of life.
I didn't tell her that you
Built this list.
Great. Just you got
Yeah, right, Kelly. No, I don't want the dog. Don't tell her. Really, I didn't.
Yes. What's this?
Alex wanted, you know, she was holding her, and Alex keeps going like this to her face, and she keeps giving her little face, and then Alex like, she made him.
got one left.
You got a smelly finger, Alex.
Little memento.
Yes, Alex, you were so good today, Alex. Your singing was really major.
Stolen, found, filtered
So
from.
what happens? Does the corporation say, we want this person, you go after them, or do they come to you and say, who can you get us?
Both ways. Usually they have someone in mind, and usually it's Rosie O'Donnell. You know what I mean? This year has been Rosie O'Donnell. The fact is, my job is as much to make suggestions as a casting agent as it is to locate, negotiate, and contract them. So it's full service. Very exciting. I'm working for big companies, Hewlett Packard, Pizza Hut, Applied Materials, charities like the Leukemia Society of America, Brightest
And they come to you and say, you don't want to get good here, we really like this person, but if you can't get that person, who would you recommend? Who people swear?
In the last 2 months, I've booked Sybil Shepherd, Dennis Miller, Dennis Franz, Diane Friedman.
No, but and then do you have to get them there and
Michael
everything?
Douglas. Oh, yeah. I flew to San Francisco with Sybil on the top. It's pretty cool. In the last year, on business, I went to Costa Rica.
No, but if you could
That's amazing.
It's my business brother, and it's a very
Perfect mother.
yeah.
You always go with them, or you just say, here, show up here, or do you make sure they get there?
Well,
Isn't that cute?
I just wanted to show the beginning part.
But some of them are staying at.
Self-portrait.
Because it's right near the stadium. Maybe we'll call there and stop the process. Call out.
You find the missing postcard yet?
Maybe that's
No, not yet.
And it was licensed by a licensing agent in Indianapolis for this company. It was Maryland's image and name on the spot. It's called Maryland's image. Marty and I were working at it.
Who's this?
It is Alex, it's in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Come here. I can't figure out what you're doing in a 1985. You're the song, Catherine Van Zandt?
Screen clears.
There's the image.
That's really good.
The words come up.
Dayton or state of origin.
This is Uncle David.
Why not?
Like I said, very few shots here. Okay.
Were you there? I figured. I think I saw Stan there too.
Did you?
I think I talked to him. No, did I see you there? And you told me Stan was there.
I think so.
I think you and I saw each other.
Yeah. Well, I know I saw you at the series. That's the one I saw. The one that my dad was at. I know it's like one of them.
Alex, where are you going?
And the bowl smashes all over the place.
It's a long story, but
TV, the way it really is.
No, it's not.
Home builder product bowl.
Oh.
One piece of lime.
No.
One piece of lime.
Well, yeah, but usually, see, what I did, well, you didn't see this. I put that in and I squeezed some lime juice in it as well. So that gave me the equivalent of 2 pieces of lime. Where's your sister? Kelly, here's some chocolate milk for you.
Everybody wants.
Yeah. Do you want some too?
Yeah, Alex, you have that. It's okay. I don't need it.
Well, will you be very careful, though?
Everybody.
Very careful.
What do you say, Alex?
Everybody.
You're welcome.
Everybody. Okay. Good. Oh, wait for you.
Kelly, can I just see that thing that Jan gave you, the necklace? No, not your hair, the necklace. Let me see. And you tied it. That's from Neiman Marcus. And silver. Let me see the end. It's beautiful. And Jackie has one too?
Yeah.
Let's see. Jackie, can I see your necklace?
I hired it was in San Francisco with a private jet. So it's good. I'm doing a lot of
This is one of their.
Now, these are kids from 14 and you know the Montreux Festival in Switzerland. They were invited to this Canadian high school band is a high school college. So, this is the floor seat with the adults.
There we go.
I've got the deck jewelry, I've got Gautier jewelry, and I've
the hair of diamonds.
I wish.
So what do? Get them published? Get them
Whatever. I get different things. Media relations. Some I get them on board. Some I make introductions.
Jackie, you need.
Yeah.
Then wash your hands.
Writing your ads.
Wash your hands first. Okay, go wash your hands.
I'm gonna try.
You said your bar mitzvah.
Definitely very bad.
I didn't get to know Gary and Dave until I was 21. So far, you know, they have these apples going.
Oh, you were always there. Every girl always liked. Sorry, Janet.
Yes.
All the girls liked him.
He was good at the lines.
I know, everybody loved him. He had lots of money, and then I came along. You know how many times I've heard that?
And rich girlfriends all over the world.
Everybody loved him. He had lots of money, and then I came along.
That's right. And then the whole thing just went.
And he settled for stability and 3 children.
And beauty.
Smart guy.
And genius and talent and
Oh,
capability.
yeah.
Keep going,
really
keep going,
settled.
honey.
Oh, God, did he settle? Yeah.
Okay, if we have to read
Now see, this is wrong. That's my brother. That's my brother. That's my brother. This is not 19.
Oh, my kids will watch him.
That's my brother. Yeah. This is our lamp. That's our table. That's our home. So she's got the brother. That's my dad and your dad with you and Dad.
Write a letter to the
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, he's safe now.
Okay, thank you.
Just in the kitchen on the floor.
A mother of
But don't let her have any food.
Mother of the
Well, that can be anybody.
Is it a restaurant?
No,
Not
it's
even
for
one.
What is this here?
No people food.
You guys look so cool.
That's why she's so
Your kid says to me, I'm good in math, ask me a bunch of questions.
Who said that?
Your
Alex?
kid.
Your little boys. Sure. So I started. The first person that almost got done.
He's my niece.
My niece. She asked Samantha if she regarded a stepsister or
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt this conversation.
What are you showing me? Because virgin. What is the word virgin? No,
That's a da
Sorry.
da 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 da.
Yeah. Look at the bottling. Isn't that beautiful bottle? Yeah.
Nice? Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
How much is that? I mean,
I haven't any idea. Somebody gave it to me.
$3.95, I think. It's free.
What do you like when you're not?
Dave, let's see it.
Okay, anyhow.
Hey, Dave, just turn this first. Just turn this
thing down.
first Holiff
Dave?
and a cactus and the date.
Oh, look at that nice. Oh my God.
I think it's a great design.
Oh, good for you.
But to all, I have to give credit. Larry, Marty.
So
Oh yeah.
You never
The
give
design on the
credit.
back. The sign on the back where you give us
Cash
credit.
is fine.
Hang
Never
on.
give
The
credit.
design on the back of the way the names were. Look at all the names. Put in your.
You gotta turn around. How can I
Well, I
see
can't
it?
turn around.
Well, who proofed it also?
Talk to the wall.
There you go.
You look like you've been in trouble with the police.
Okay. Couple.
Watch those little things on the.
Oh, good for you, David. Good for you.
Like that?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Is
great.
Alex eating? Huh?
Whose is this?
No.
It's fine. It's fine.
That's a couple quick announcements.
Who wants to turn off the goddamn television set?
Goddamn.
The kids are watching.
The goddamn kids are watching.
Tell them to turn it down.
Like a Larry.
I have T-shirts for everybody from everybody to wear tomorrow on the bus trip.
Oh my God, is that cute?
Okay, so that when we go on the trip tomorrow, we can do a group photo with a Holiff reunion thing. Everybody have T-shirts.
By the way, can I interject for one more minute because it's the right time?
Yeah.
Everyone who's going on the bus trip, and I hope that's everyone, meet at 9 o'clock in front of your hotel. And you're going to find a very interesting trip. You're going to see some places you haven't seen before. It's going to last 5 hours, and we're going to stop for lunch.
And you're coming with us. That's good. Oh, you're coming with us?
Yeah.
I'm calling in the morning.
I'm in the front of the bus.
Okay.
I have to tell you, I'm not a I have a call in the morning.
No, this is a nice little.
That's okay, I'm still good. You'll see me in the car, right? Oh,
Guys,
you're gonna see some nice things.
what I want to do
All right.
is I want to hand you out your photo albums.
Do you have the labels?
Yes. And each person,
You get such a great.
your labels
What's that?
are going to be added on. Marnie made up labels.
Oh, God.
These are, don't even laugh.
If you don't do this quickly, it'll be time for a new shirt.
Yeah, right.
Okay, here. Let's do
Guys,
guys, let's do the t-shirts first. Dad and Jan. Okay, I hope I have the right sizes.
Jen, extra large? We manufacture this. Oh, do you?
Oh,
Yeah, but
no.
we didn't know that. I told him.
Jonathan, Josh, Saul.
It's okay. We paid retail.
Oh my God, they paid retail.
I should say sorry. You paid retail.
I have to make an announcement. As much as I'd like to be a philanthropist.
How much are they?
What we've done is we divided it by 28 people, which is the ones that couldn't be here because they all were getting T-shirts and photo albums.
We came here.
Send Uncle Saul the bill. It was his idea.
It comes out to $14 US. Oh, that's too much. You can round it out to $15.
And make checks payable
The
too.
Holiff reunion for next year.
Plus shipping and handling.
$2 per shirt?
For everything. Photo albums and everything.
Wonderful.
For the shirts.
What a deal.
Everything.
So it's 2 shirts and 1 album.
2 shirts and 1 album? No.
We got
$30 for 2 shirts and 1 album.
Correct.
I got a corner.
Okay.
$30.
No, it just goes like this.
Not to buy the album.
$15 US per person. That includes the shirt and the photo album.
What a deal.
But the photo album, to make things even more complicated, is just one per family as opposed to per person.
Hurry up! Don't make a big thing here. Just give it to him.
Kelly, I want to see your little baby. Kelly, let me see your little baby.
Daddy?
Daddy.
Oh, sorry. Here we go.
Oh, there he is. Daddy.
Who's sitting right beside, where's the queen? Jan should be.
His Holiff reunion.
That's right. Shouldn't be allowed to. He's wearing his old, dirty old everything.
Who else? Wait a minute. Who's not here? What's that? No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Jan, sit down. Dave, let Jan sit there. Let Jan sit there.
Jeez, you all are so
That's nice.
Oh, it's true.
Box. Danny's like,
let's try.
Is it ticking?
you're like the queen sitting there. Like taking all our day, figure out what it is. Where's your gloves?
Does anyone want to try to make a guess as to what's in this box?
I haven't got a clue. You know.
I know.
I don't know. Who's this from? Jackie?
This is from just all everybody, but it's not a big deal.
Wait a minute, don't say I haven't got it on the box.
It's a big deal.
Take it out of the box. It's from my...
Oh, look at this. Oh, look at
It is
this.
a big deal.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Oh, look at this.
Don't touch the pictures.
Don't touch the pictures. Fantastic.
She was in a class with 12 and 13-year-olds, and it's a very religious class, and you teach 12 and 13.
Okay.
Isn't it? Yeah, and in the picture I'm handsome, but in real life it didn't work out.
Class. You didn't do anything.
Oh, look at this. Look at this.
It was very special.
Aren't they beautiful?
You can put that on top of your piano.
It's very big. I'm really sorry, Jen. You gotta find a place for it.
No, it's huge.
It's very huge. You got a sort of accordion.
Oh, look at that.
Well, it's
Yep.
meant to be. It's
Yep.
meant to be.
That's beautiful.
That's
That's really beautiful. The garbage comes out tomorrow.
Right.
There you go.
That's a Larry remark, isn't it?
That's great.
That's like catch myself.
Remember those taken?
That's hilarious on the phone, probably.
No, I'm alone.
But there's no card. I don't know where these came from.
When he was down
This is dynamite.
I mean alone.
What's next?
8 months to a year.
It's gorgeous.
That's
Beautiful present.
It's marvelous.
Yes.
I wouldn't go with that.
My greasy fingers off.
It's all right. You know, it's not.
Touche pas.
But I'm upset
Touche
about
pas.
who did the shots.
Oh,
That's not from Alex.
Not one shot.
This is the presentation from E.C. Alex.
You?
Okay.
Okay. On your what?
Here, my God.
Okay.
Jan, you look great here.
Thank you very
She always looks great. She's very
Open
pretty.
this first. You'll notice when
Janet,
Oh,
should we open the card first?
They can open the card
Actually, you
first.
should open the card.
Or Janet?
Okay,
I'll
thank
be
you.
like, stop kiss.
Thank you,
She's
Jen.
very gorgeous.
Oh,
Okay.
Alex is a poser.
You must have had
You're a
something to
poser,
do with
Alex.
this,
I
right?
have it.
No, nothing. I had something to do
I
with
never
that.
realized the whole family is so loud, did you?
When he
That's
kisses
great.
the button.
The nicest little family.
Let me read this.
I like it.
Yeah, I think so. They're home.
And the Bovine watches are giving us a real treat. On a small
My
note,
father didn't come to my
full
wedding.
splendor,
He goes for the bottom.
there suddenly appeared a Guatemalan cow of paradise. I see.
But Johnson, you have all of us, so you don't.
May your
That's
birthday
right.
be full of magnificent surprises.
Remember, we even drove to the
Happy
desert.
birthday, Grandpa
That's true.
Murray. Okay. Love,
We drove them to
Jackie,
see him.
Alex. What's this? Middle child cat.
Kelly?
Oh, middle child Kelly.
That's very
That's
nice.
cute.
Thank you.
Give Grandpa Maury the book first, Alex. But
Open this first.
Great looking couple, you two, I gotta tell you.
Okay, you can open anything? I believe.
No, Alex. Alex.
This is beautiful, Janet.
And you can open anything.
Go now, Kelly. I can rip anything.
Can I rip it too?
Yes?
Sure.
Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is.
You know what it is. Okay, what is it?
Pair of skis.
It looks like a diary. It says, Dear Grandpa Maury, it seems we've done it all, or a lot of it, and captured most of it on video, so that we could share it and reward our lives to remember it's funny. Whoops.
Here, you gonna read the whole book?
Here,
Okay.
can you read it? It's really, here, let me read it.
It's
Very smart. Dear Grandpa Maury, it seems we've done it all, or a lot of it, and captured most of it on video so that we could share it and rewind our lives to remember. It's funny that although you and Jan live far away, you truly have been part of our lives. And for those times that you weren't, here they are now. We don't recommend this viewing in one sitting. Just every so often turn on a tape, any tape, on and get a glimpse of how and why we have grown to be the people who we are. And there is more. We will continue to build your library of our lives as it happens, videotape by videotape. Happy birthday, your great kids and kids. And what you have here is what gift is.
Oh, look at this.
Wait, look,
God, this is...
Not just the kids, it's all of us.
This will take me the rest of my life here.
oh my God, you guys, you want me to go out?
We put you on the Video of the Month Club.
And for those of you that live in...
No, we're not finished yet. We're not finished yet.
It happens to be perfect timing because Seinfeld is just going off the air. This is where it plays 10 o'clock every night, right?
And for those that live in LA or Hamilton, you can go to your local Blockbuster and get these copies.
And rent the Holiff life.
Maury,
Yes.
Yeah. This little book?
Yeah, we got that from Kelly's books, little books. She donated that book. And what we've done is we've put a legend in there
Yes,
for
you
what's
have.
on every tape.
Yeah, I see it already.
They're all
This is terrific.
Oh, because I can't do this in this table
This will
without
keep
you.
me out of trouble.
Larry, you're missing all the
Well, you're
videotape
not meant to
library.
ever sit down and watch. Just
Oh,
turn
they
it
got
on.
the
Whenever
videotape
you feel like
library of all the...
But it's got Kelly's winning speech. And
How many
John
hours, Jen?
And the Buck and Disneyland.
It's like 14 hours of...
14 hours.
Let's go. Okay, one more present here.
That
Larry, this is yours.
Me?
Cup of coffee?
Yep.
No.
That is
Okay, we
decaf.
have,
David, is that decaf?
I don't know, she said it was
don't
for
know,
you.
whatever, she
Okay.
knows
Uncle, do you
you.
think it's decaf?
Sure.
Jan, is that decaf?
What size foot are you?
Oh, Gary.
I guarantee you.
That's okay.
Mine's
My dad mixes me up.
So let me
I tucked
understand.
up away in my eyes. Brother,
You went to sleep.
Well, I can relate to that.
Now,
Guys,
there's one more thing for you. Now, it was really, you know, that lady that we knew we said something to,
Yes.
we're supposed to get married. Well, we decided, we're not going to give it to her. We're going to give it to you instead.
I had a funny feeling about all that. Yes.
No, we should say one other thing, is that because a lot of you couldn't be here for Dad's birthday, his 65th birthday.
January the 6th.
65th
Yes, thank you very much.
January the 6th, so that since some of you are out of town, we want to do the birthday thing
We're
tonight.
going to let
Of
you
course.
open it.
Thank you very much.
But of course.
Alex.
I may need some help.
Not a
Let's
cake,
just see
but
what happens.
Can I have the bubbly paper? No, I want the bubbly paper.
Take the bubbly paper.
Thank you.
Larry.
Can I play bubbly paper?
I'll help you. Can I help?
Yeah, that's Jan,
Alex,
nice
you can have bubbly paper.
She buys all my
Alex, go in
practice
behind.
clothing for me.
Yeah.
I can help.
This is a good packing too.
She thinks I can't buy anything with any quality or any fashion.
Oh, that? I'm not very good at this stuff. There we go. Oops. Careful now. Don't let her near me.
Watch those fingers.
Now, this actual gift has a significance.
Go all the way down.
Don't say anything.
No, we're not saying anything, we're just saying it has an historical significance, because not only is it a Holiff gift,
I know it is.
but there's a ticket involved in this.
I have Also bubble paper.
There's a bacon involved.
You better speak faster, it's all over.
And
Alex, did you hear that? There's a bacon involvement in this.
there's a Larry Bacon involved with this
Oh,
gift.
my God. That'll be trouble.
Sorry, not involved with the gift, but involved somehow.
Oh, someone.
But you'll have to get
Alex, did you hear that?
What's the
So good?
clock? Okay.
Say what?
You'll have to figure out how a Larry Bacon is involved.
Alex, tu le coupe alors?
You want to use that, David? Here.
Watch out, Alex. Watch the scissors, Alex.
Alex, scissors.
Alex, run away. And scissors. Okay? You can wait. It'll come to you.
Alex?
It's very well tear, and it's really easy to
We
tear.
noticed, Leah.
That way,
Alex,
because it has to go through immigration and everything.
Okay.
Or as Alex would say,
What's that?
l'immigrant
Customs.
customs.
Is it,
You know what I mean?
is it dope?
Unless it got a green card,
Is it drugs?
Oh, right.
Oh, dope. Well, that's that's where I come in.
That's a good thing.
That's why you're talking about me.
Okay. Should be all right.
Boy. Kelly guessed what it was. Kelly always guessed what it was.
Let's start hating him.
Yeah, Kelly guessed.
Was she right?
No, she guessed what it was inside.
Okay, Kelly, what is up?
No.
Larry already used that line tonight. Because of you. You didn't lie.
Pair of skis, what is this?
When he opened the little book from Alex, I said, oh, it's a pair of skis. That was Larry's line, and
Positively dangerous to be honest.
we're going to cut it in half. My God, it's taking 20 minutes to open this.
Mo, you better like this.
Watch those scissors.
With those scissors.
My good goodness. I wonder what it could possibly be.
There we go. Blue Jays.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And look what's taped to the
There's
back.
something in the back.
Oh, my. Look at this. It's autographed.
Oh, my good goodness.
This is
Joe Carter.
Joe Carter.
Joe
Hey!
And I was there
Dave?
when this happened.
Yes, you were. And I saw you there.
It's good when Marty and
I saw you there.
You were there at that game, right? Ticket.
Oh, for God's sake.
Okay, Mo, hold it up. Hold it up.
Look at that.
Hold it up, Dad.
On an angle, man.
And it's autographed by Joe. Look at that beautiful photo.
But Joe Carter has left the Blue Jays.
Give it back to them.
Wow, beautiful.
Wrap it up. We got to take it back.
For those that don't know,
It's even more valuable now. That's right.
That's right. Those that don't know,
Alex.
my father and I and Larry were lucky enough to be at the World Series game that Joe Carter hit the home run.
Oh.
They won the
Won
World Series in 1993. And then I endangered my life when I went with him
And
down
then
the street.
We went up Young Street.
came out, and a million fans in the street were going nuts, and we almost got crushed to death.
Yep.
You
You betcha. You betcha.
Well, no, that was another time. But this was a very scary experience.
No, I was watching on TV.
All of you baseball fans, pay attention because we're going to ask questions.
Joe Carter.
Yes.
Very special.
Beautiful.
That's wonderful.
Beautiful.
What does the
I can
plaque
tell you
say?
that the ball just almost didn't clear the left field barrier.
It did.
But it did.
But he predicted they were going to win.
Yeah, what does it say down here? What does
The
it say?
plaque. The plaque.
And on the back,
No, the plaque. On the back of the plaque.
It says World Series winning home run, Joe Carter, Toronto Blue Jays, 1993 World Series.
You were at that game.
oh, right.
That's great.
Better
This is
pick the
great.
ball.
It's exciting. You love baseball.
Better negotiate with Jan.
Jan, I've got a perfect place for it, right up there.
Well, Jen, when you
Better negotiate with
finish
Jan.
taking the garbage out, we are going to put this in your side of the bed.
Oh,
Give me the bubble. Okay, I need the bubble paper here.
Antonia's gonna switch it.
Alex! Stop it!
Alex.
He is out there.
It's fun while
Alex, stop it!
It's fun while
Guys, before you throw it away, there's an official certificate.
Careful, Alex, don't throw it back.
what's the like
That's
of a
what I
gold
just asked
medal?
her. Where was it?
Does anyone want any?
That was a
I wanted to get to Alex's two brothers.
You're gonna use that picture against me one day. You got me in the middle of a discipline.
Oh, really?
I get most of
That's it. That's discipline shot to hell for the rest of the night.
I didn't know Alex had two mothers.
So what's missing? The certificate was this year, so the certificate of
Jan, don't do the bubbles thing. Don't do the bubbles thing now.
Okay, guys, moving right
No,
along.
not, I'm just...
Guys, moving right along. Yep. Myra suggested something that I thought, this is before the history page, because I think this would be more interesting, is Myra suggested that we have a little thing called memorable moments, that 1 minute or 2 minutes of something special that you remember about a person in the family. It could be a joke, it could be anecdote, whatever. And Myra's going to start it off.
Okay.
Okay?
I remember two things very, very fondly. Number one thing I remember is going to England about 15 years ago. Where's Jan? Jan, you gotta be here.
Jan, sit
about
down,
15 years ago, because I have a very close girlfriend there. And I was going to stay with her. And I got a call the day before from Uncle saying that he and Jan are going to be in London the same time. So I gave him my phone number, called me at my girlfriend's, and she had arranged for me to go to some guy's place for cocktails and out to dinner. And I said, oh, Maureen, you'll love my uncle and Jan. You've got it. They're so terrific. Is there any way they can go over to Harvey's place with us? I'd never met this Harvey. So she said, let me call Harvey and see. So she called Harvey. She said, Harvey, he's this businessman there. Harvey, my friend Myra has her uncle and his lady with them. They were not married then. Well, is it okay if they come over for drinks? So Harvey said, well, yes, all right. And well, I'll go to dinner after. And he said, okay. What's he going to say? I mean, I'm coming with my uncle and his lady. Can you imagine? Well, uncle and his lady show up. And this is the uncle and the lady. And Harvey didn't look at me the whole night. He was so taken with them, and we all went to dinner. We were at his carriage house for drinks, and that was a memorable moment in my life. I'll never forget it. And ever since then, he's been. She always says, "Uncle's coming too." And Uncle's coming. So that's why I call him Uncle. And it was a great moment. And to me, forget Myra. It was Uncle. They were so taken with him. And I have two other wonderful memories that I have.
Guys,
I want you all to be thinking while I'm talking in 1 minute.
you can think, and by the way,
Only one thing
as Myra said, if anybody has any,
Yeah, just jump
don't
in.
be shy.
But I have another wonderful.
Let's hear this.
I have another wonderful memory of being about 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, going to visit your mother, my grandmother, in London. Because every time I went there, she would make kichel for me.
Yeah,
kichel.
Yeah.
Tell us what that is.
Cinnamon and sugar bread, because she knew I loved it. And I'd walk in her house, and it would smell like heaven. And she did it for me. And another wonderful memory I have of my mother, which is so funny. Anyone here who knew my mother knew how elegant she was. And I remember being about 12 years old, sitting on her bed in her bedroom when she was getting undressed going to bed. And I was just sitting on the bed talking to her. And I remember she got into this beautiful nightgown and she was talking to me. And I said, Mother, you got your hat on? She still had her hat on and we laughed our heads off. I'll never forget that. I never told you that story. She's in this beautiful nightgown and she had her hat on. So she sat down and we laughed and laughed and laughed. And who else wants to?
And she didn't wear a hat.
It's family.
No,
It's Uncle Mo's sister.
I want to tell you one thing that happened. When we were living here, meaning Gary and Lori and I, this was back in 1970, and I took my father, or we went golfing, I should say, we went golfing. I think it was at Camelback. Yeah, you might remember better.
It was Mountain Shadows.
Mountain Shadows. And we went golfing, and my father got up in front of a hole where there was a water right in front of it. It wasn't very big. It was like between here and there, maybe 20 yards water. And all you had to do is hit it over 20 yards, and that's it. Simple as that. And he got up, and he hit the ball, and the first one went in the water. And the second one went into the water. And the third one went into the water. And the fourth one went into the water. And the fifth one went into the water. And I don't remember how many times, but I believe, and you might remember this better, I believe it was 6 or 7 times. Every one, it was only 20 yards. It was 20 yards away. And everyone could have thrown it over.
Psychologically.
Everyone psychologically. And this is the first time, as everybody knows, my dad is a very mild-mannered person. I have never seen him ever do this. He got so upset. He took the golf clubs and he threw the whole thing down like that, and he said, "Never again." I can't repeat this. Hear what he said. I can't repeat it because
First initial.
But he said, "Can I clean it up?" He said,
He's never playing again.
I'll never play this blank game.
He said, "I'll never play this blankety blank game again." And that was it. That ended his golf career. He's never played golf since then.
Those blanks, were there any of those blanks tomorrow with me? Those blanks, heck.
Yeah.
Now you know you're going to cause all these people to want to play me for money.
Okay, and I want to tell you one more that if that's okay, and anybody can add in and anybody can jump in here. Feel free. Lee and I went to London, Ontario, to visit
the Queen,
our grandmother and grandpa's grave, and we had never been there. I'm talking about Joel and Esther, of course. And we had never been there, and we just wanted to see it. And Leah, if you want to say anything, go ahead. We finally found it.
Well, how we found it was, can I start this?
Sure.
Is that I had good friends from Windsor, and her aunt and uncle lived in London, so we called them.
Who's that?
Redbirds.
Yeah, Norman Redbird.
And we found out that they had been really close friends with Esther and Joel. And so when I went to visit them with my friend Judy, they started telling me all about the family and where the grandparents were buried and everything. So I came home and told David. And that's the reason we went to London, is because I knew where everything was. And so we had somebody let us in, and then we had to climb the fence, and I found it.
Well, wait, go back a sec, because they told you all sorts of stories.
They told me all kinds of stories.
Of what?
About Joel and Esther and the card games. And I guess when Norm Redford and his wife came, your grandparents and your parents had taken them in, and they became very close friends with them. And did everything with them, and they were really close friends.
He was an optometrist, yeah.
But the thing is, they told Leah that on Yom Kippur and other Jewish holidays, they would put the nose in the air. What do you call that expression?
Thumb their nose.
Thumb their noses and play cards, gamble all night. That's gamble all night. So anyhow, here's the rest of the story. We get to the cemetery, and I'm looking around trying to find the graves, and I don't know if you guys have been there or not in London, and we couldn't find it.
Well, I knew because she told me where, and so I went over and I said, David, it's not there. And she was looking at the edge of the fence, and she said that it's on the other side. I found it.
I mean the cemetery attendant. What do they call that?
Hey, this is a real pleasant story.
No. This is a funny story. The funny story is that... The funny part about this is that...
The whole family's on the other side of the fence. They have like a private plot.
In other words...
It's a private plot.
We didn't qualify.
In other words, the family...
We were separatists.
The family were separatists, exactly.
It's a big hill, and it's very private, and it's very scenic. I think it's the best place there.
Jonathan, have you been there? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I have. I know exactly.
Add to that?
No, just that I heard from you guys that it had something to do with the fact that they were excluded from being buried.
Because they were atheists.
Because they were atheists. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
What are you saying yes for?
Because we were there.
She knew. They were at Western University.
I remember the
So they knew the area, and they knew my parents very well.
I see.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And you also mentioned having known my
That's right. You know, it's really funny that with this family, somehow I guess I must have meant to become part of this family.
Oh, right.
Because when I first met David, which was in '85, and we started talking.
That was your first mistake.
That was the second.
anyways, David, you know, the last name didn't really connect at first when he said Holiff. And then all of a sudden you were coming into town and he started telling me about his cousin Jonathan and his father, Saul Holiff, and they used to live in London, Ontario. And so I said, Jonathan has a brother Josh? And he goes, yeah. And I said, I know all about them. And David said, how do you know? I said, wait till he comes, I'll tell him. And what it was is that I used to live in London. And one of my ex-boyfriends, his mother used to work for Saul and Barbara.
One of the
yes. Yes. She was the housekeeper and cleaning lady, Mr. Maddox.
Right, Portuguese, right?
No,
no, not
she was
Portuguese.
Latvian.
Now tell the folks here
But
what
listen
she used
to
to
this.
do.
She felt that it wasn't fair that Barbara and Saul were raising the kids without any kind of religion. And she was Catholic. And she was a very devout Catholic. So rather than have the kids go to hell, because that's what she believed, that's right. She decided that she was going to baptize them herself.
I'm going to heaven, guys.
You're in Scottsdale right now. Yeah, but you're going to Catholic heaven.
I'm in Paradise Valley.
Right. Cool. So not like how many people you know there.
So these are my two connections with the family before I even knew them. Because the Redbirds, like Judy Redbird and I grew up together, we were very close.
In London?
No, Windsor.
In Windsor.
Her uncle lived in London. But you know, like these two connections before I even knew them.
Before you knew him.
Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing when you think about it.
Had you heard? Brought me. The problem is I've been in the family longer than most of the rest of you. And so my memory is old and feeble. The recollections are a little different, but the common thread is music. And I want to thank Jan for loving all the great musicians and knowing all the great musicians that Larry has come to adore. Larry's current heroes were Jan's buddies, and that has just enthralled us and embellished our enjoyment of all
And
that.
never would I have thought that there'd be that kind of...
No, and that's just fabulous. And with all the stories I could tell, but I'm too polite to tell about Uncle Mo.
Oh, come on.
The one I want to acknowledge is a musical connection, because it was Uncle Mo that introduced us to Felicia Saunders.
Oh, yes.
Such a very special moment in our lives. At the Bonsoir in New York. It was the first time we'd been in a New York, I don't even know what you call it. Bonsoir or nightclub. It was a special place. She was absolutely sensational. It was the first time we saw a female impersonator who was the opening act.
Yes.
And J.T. Stevens, the female impersonator who opened the show.
I don't remember.
Well, this is vivid for me. And Felicia Saunders became absolutely an adored object in our lives.
That's right, you traveled everywhere to go to
we
see.
went everywhere to hear her.
She tried to
we
get
met
him
her husband
for
who conducted
her
a
birthday
big
party.
orchestra at the O'Keeffe. I tried for Larry's 40th birthday to get Felicia Saunders to come to Hamilton.
Should have hired Jonathan.
Throw a cabaret party in Hamilton Place.
That would have been great.
And I spoke to her, which was a highlight for me, and she told me she wasn't sure she could do it. And within the year she died, and I knew
She was from Detroit, I think.
Yeah. We saw her. We flew to Detroit to see her. Rodney Dangerfield was the opening act. He bombed. And she was fabulous, and we got caught in a storm and we couldn't fly back. Many adventures in our lives evolved from the moment that you introduced us to Felicia Saunders. So for that and 1,000 other things, we thank you.
Now, let me just pick up on that story.
Okay.
About 20 years later. Bye, Sam.
Okay.
About 20 years later, at the Hamilton Philharmonic Orchestra, they had a Mother's Day concert every year. And one year, Mitch Miller comes in as the guest conductor. Not Skitch Henderson, who Myra sent in one year, and I picked him up at the Buffalo Airport on Mother's Day.
Yeah, we met Skitch.
But Mitch Miller, and with our friends the Martins, who were also part of
These
this.
young kids don't know that Sing Along with Mitch was the biggest
Yeah, I
song.
remember that. Of course you know. So after the Mother's Day concert, we had the responsibility of taking out the guest conductor, Mitch Miller, with ourselves and the Martins, and we went to Shakespeare Restaurant in Hamilton, and we had more than one or two scotches, and we got talking about the music scene in New York, and Mitch Miller said to me, "Do you have a favorite singer?" And I said, "Do I have a favorite singer?" I said, "My Uncle Morris Holiff from then Toronto introduced us to Felicia Saunders. Have you ever heard of her?" And there was an embarrassing silent pause. And he said, "Oh, you mean Skippy Schwartz?"
Oh my God!
Of course, he said, I gave Skippy Schwartz her first break.
Was that a real
That's a true story.
Are you serious?
And Felicia Saunders is Skippy Schwartz. That's my first story. My second story. My second story is for the benefit of my cousin JJ. In 19...
For those that don't know, how did JJ start? How did that happen?
Well, wait a minute.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's his initials.
Oh.
Okay. In 1954, I was in third year Western in London, Ontario, and I had a girlfriend from Toronto.
Must be a girlfriend.
And my girlfriend and I were walking down the street, down Dundas Street in London, Ontario, in the middle of the afternoon on a hot September day, and I was dressed, well, my sister will...
Larry did not dress well.
My sister will admit that I was not a fashion plate.
He was not a fashion
And
plate.
so I was...
Not right now. Now that his sister dresses him.
Now Dundas Street is like... Dundas Street, the area where we were walking, was like sort of Bloor Street in Toronto. And I know my sister would have been embarrassed to see me, but I was dressed up in an old pair of pants and
a red flannel shirt.
A what?
Red flannel shirt, open.
Open, okay. And underneath a t-shirt, which was like an undershirt. Not the kind of undershirt that has the straps on it, you know, like Stella! But the kind that came after that, which was sort of a full undershirt with short sleeves. And I admit, I wasn't what you call a fashion plate. And walking down London's equivalent to Bloor Street, who do we run into but my favorite uncle, Uncle Saul. And he looks at me and he stops and he said, "Marnie, do you have any idea how embarrassed Anne would be to see Larry walking down the street looking like such a slob?" And I said, "I think I'm well dressed for the occasion. I mean, well, what the hell?" And he turned around and walked away and he said, I don't want to stay here anymore and talk to you because I'm embarrassed to see you looking like such a slob. So that's your favorite uncle.
This seems like an appropriate time for me to jump in. First of all, I want to thank Larry and Marty for introducing me to cigarettes.
Do you smoke?
I do, but I'm quitting in 3 days.
Really?
When I first picked up the habit at Jeff's bar mitzvah, where in those days it was politically acceptable to have dishes of cigarettes.
It was hospitable.
It was hospitable, and they were mostly more cigarettes, if you remember. And they were everywhere.
And a few menthols.
And a few menthols. And I must have smoked 100 of them that night. In the back stairwell with Jeff, right after he got off the stage and whipped off his yarmulke, he was into the cigarettes with me. Wow.
Does he still smoke?
No,
Never did. He smoked cigars.
The odd cigar now. Stinking, lousy cigar.
As you may know, I wasn't fortunate enough to have grown up around all of you and gotten to know all of you. In fact, most of you were strangers to me, and it wasn't until I was 21 that I really got to know David and Leah and Gary and Lori somewhat in Toronto. And I just want to quickly say, because I only have a minute, that just about everyone in this room has played a very important part in my life at one time or another. Particularly when I was very young, Gary Holiff visited London, Ontario a number of times and was really kind of a big brother to me. I've mentioned this a couple of times already tonight, but He used to have an afro, and he used to tell me that he had...
Everybody did.
Right.
The whole family.
He explained, and I believed, that he had 3 birds' nests in his hair. And he was driving a convertible, and he was very empathetic towards me because I was having a great deal of emotional problems with my father at the time. Then, of course, we were removed to Victoria and had very little exposure to the rest of the family. But when I did come to Toronto, David Holiff kind of adopted me and was very much a sponsor of mine, helping land me up with a job. And so I credit David quite a bit with really looking out for me when I first moved to Toronto. And after I got settled there after a while, Larry was kind enough to come down several times from Hamilton and pick me up and take me to a ball game and all the kinds of things that I had not really ever done before. And I guess finally, I don't know if these pass or qualify as anecdotes, but Myra over here has become my very, very good friend and cousin slash sister. We've spent a good deal of time together and have really formed a nice bond. So I'm just happy that ultimately I've been able to establish good bonds with this family, and I hope to do so even more with those guys and those guys as well. So I just want to say thank you. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm sorry that my brother and parents weren't able to come.
Great. We're glad you're here. Thank you.
Really happy to have you.
And I just want to read one paragraph, if you don't mind. Okay, Jonathan, we came across a letter that Jonathan wrote when you were...
It depends on which letter you read.
That's a good point.
David.
This is 1978. He wrote...
You were alive then, did you
from
hear that?
What?
You were alive then?
From London, Ontario. And
I
he
could
was...
write.
how old were you, Jonathan?
In 78, I would have been
12.
11 or 12.
Okay.
Okay, wait.
And he's written it on the Statler Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
From Saul Hall.
No, wait, just as a disclaimer, these are the only letters that David could find from me. They're not necessarily good letters.
No,
You know what, I have to tell you, very neat writing
Oh,
for
really?
a
Thank you.
Always.
Yes, but you guys remember Alex today? It's not good, it's not good. Well, that's how I feel.
No, I'm just going to read this. This is, Dear David, thanks a lot for the t-shirts. I've been trying to get my mother to buy me a plain colored shirt instead of stripes everywhere. I just received my report card today. I didn't do as well as expected, but pulled off an 82 average. That sounds like Jonathan.
Oh my God.
Not as well as expected.
Yeah, right. I won't read you the whole thing, but on the bottom it's got Love John. That's how he used to sign his name.
How do you spell it? J-O-H-N?
J-O-H-N.
Not
And I'll tell you, that
Look at
raised
the
the ire of my father like you wouldn't believe. You could probably guess her name. In
Yeah, I
those-
didn't know that.
I was a kid who thought that Jonathan was too long and too formal and too odd and too unique.
That's too bad, because that's a great name.
It is, and I love it.
Yeah.
They'll keep it.
I know Jonathan Winters never signs his name John.
True.
How about when you were Faye Dunaway's assistant? She used to call you Johnny.
Oh, God.
Johnny.
Cheers.
Johnny.
Well, for money, I'll answer to anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And unless anybody has a memorable moment they want to add here or subtract or whatever. Do you have anything to say?
Can I add one thing? This is about when I first met Jan and Lauren. The first night I met. Oh. I'm gonna laugh.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Oh, boy,
I'm ready for this.
Get it now. Tell it, it was fun.
Oh, no.
Should I tell it?
Oh, God. I was
Absolutely.
hoping this was not going to come
Oh,
up.
it's funny.
Oh, God.
Okay, this was the first night. Now, at that time, David and I we just really met. We've just been seeing each other a very short period of time. And I can't remember, but anyways, it was a short time. And I was living in Orangeville at the time, still, which is, you probably don't know, but just north of Toronto, about 45 minutes to an hour north, and teaching up there. And I was still visiting friends in the city, and David had said that his dad was in, and and Jan was in, and he wanted me to meet them. But he was going for dinner first with them and a friend, and because this had already been planned, could I meet them afterwards just for dessert?
No, we're
And
you didn't know you were going to be the dessert.
Oh, God.
She already said, should I go outside? No, it's nothing like that. No. Okay. So, anyway, so I get to the restaurant, and, you know, it's a little nervous on my part because meeting parents, this was a short while, I thought, well, you know, some people are just very open and very friendly, and it means nothing. So thanks, John, you know, just wants me to meet them. So I arrive at the restaurant, and I see David with another young lady there, you know, with his dad and Jen, who he introduces me to. And I sit down, and I'm not quite sure, you know, who this is. It could be a sister, because I do have a sister, but I find out it's not. It's a lady that cares about him, but he's not aware of it. He's kind of oblivious to this fact. Well, she doesn't think so. Anyway, so here they're
Forget I had to deal with the other one.
Oh, I don't know this. So, anyways, we're sitting there, but all of a sudden I see that she's becoming very attentive to David, very protective of him, like, you know, eating out of his plate, you know, the things that you do to show possession, and type of thing. So I'm not quite sure what's going on.
You knew it wasn't my sister's.
Yeah, I knew it. And anyways, so we started, you know, finished dinner, and I really wasn't quite sure what to do next, but everybody was very cordial and very nice, and so I just decided to walk ahead. We were walking, it was at Eglinton and Yard. Do you remember that? And we started to walk.
I remember.
And we were walking, and the whole time I walked with Maury. He was my date for the night. Remember?
And who was the...
And we just talked the whole way. We walked all the way down to Fleur Street, and we went to that club. And went to that club,
Jazz club,
that jazz club, and we sat and we talked, and I just kind of ignored the whole thing because I didn't know what else to do.
What was your point,
And
baby?
And your point is?
You're getting back at me now after 13 years now.
But the thing was, you know, it was kind of an awkward situation.
Yes.
And yet they were both so gracious and, you know, made me feel very comfortable. And like, you know.
Well, could you explain to
where's the
David?
bimbo now?
David, can you explain to us why they said the bride was there?
Yeah.
The other girl left early. She was the one that decided to leave early.
Oh, yay!
I have not.
And they lived happily ever after.
So you're going to schedule the two a little too close.
She was a very nice girl.
Yeah, it was a scheduling problem. That's weird.
Oh, it was a scheduling problem.
Can I have one more, David?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, listen, for him and for me. When my two uncles won the Second World War for the Allies. There were a couple of stories that I was really interested in. One of them is that at the end of the war, a lot of the servicemen continued to wear their uniforms until they were finished actual service in 1945, even though the war was over. And you and Uncle Saul, if I recall, went down to Los Angeles.
Yes.
And you met Bob Hope and James Crosby.
No, that was him. That wasn't me.
That was Saul?
Saul went there.
It's okay.
He has a picture with Bob Hope.
Right, and Bing Crosby.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, didn't you give him one of your officer's uniforms?
Yeah, but that was before then. That was.
Tell us about
That's a
that.
good
That's
story.
also on the-
That's a good
that's also
story.
the-
Your officer's
yeah, Sunday.
uniform story.
Let's hear it. Your officer's uniform story.
Yes,
We can listen to
that
the
was,
other
yeah, Saul was stationed somewhere else, and I was in a place called Mountain View, which is outside of Belleville, and I was there, and we used to correspond, and he wasn't very far away. He was in Kingston at the time.
I thought he was in Summerside.
No, not at this particular time. And he said, I can be over where you are and we can get together. And I said, good, we're having an officers' mess party. Come on over and I'll get you in. And he came over and I gave him one of my uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't realize
Officer.
at the time.
That's a no.
Yes.
He was a non-officer and you were
Yes,
an officer.
and I was an officer,
And it
and
was-
I could have been
You
court-martialed.
could have been shot to death.
Yes.
Big time.
So we went to the party that night and we faked it very
And
well.
he faked with being an officer.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
And we had a great time.
Oh, God. Did you see that?
That's all there was to that.
But what happened with that, and this is on his tape,
Yeah.
but he said that he went with his uniform all over the country.
No.
No, that was in a sergeant's uniform.
Oh, that's what it was?
No.
Because he was a serviceman, they gave him free travel.
He got free travel and he went to LA and New York and Chicago.
Your uniform was your passport.
Okay,
That will be on the
now
tape.
David,
Yes.
okay, maybe you should be telling this story.
Go ahead.
But I think it is one of the funniest and the most incredibly gifted jokes that's ever been perpetrated on anybody, by anyone, anywhere. The time you called your father and you said, I want you to meet my new girlfriend.
Oh, God.
And you
Oh.
hired an actress who was a big slob,
Yes, and came over to the
who
apartment.
came with chewing gum and
Lying on the couch.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I remember
Yeah.
that.
help us.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Do you know that story, Leah?
No, I
You
heard
hired
it.
an
Jan, where are you,
actress.
Jan?
An interesting.
Maybe this was a real girlfriend.
Jan.
I'm here.
Jan,
You
what's
gotta
the
hear this
actress
story.
friend of his? Remember
I
he-
thought you were going to tell me
Before
another
me.
story.
You gotta
No,
hear
no,
this story.
Prince
You gotta hear
Arthur.
this.
Here she is,
Hired
50
an
Prince
actress
Arthur.
to be a
She
big,
told me.
Yes, it was at 50 Prince Arthur.
who was,
He brought over, you know, you tell the
Oh, this
story.
is this terrible thing that he did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you hired,
I just
So
had
tell
never
it
heard
from
this
your-
were you
before.
there? Well, it's, no,
No, well, I heard
Your
too.
Yes,
father
you
told
did,
me,
Charlie. Yeah.
your father told me, and he was incensed. And the way I heard it, that you hired, that you were playing a joke on your
What
father.
happened
Well, she
was,
Jan knows.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jan.
David had this friend, and he said, I'm bringing my friend over just to say hello. And he said, fine, come on over. So he brings this person in, and she's like, "Well, would you like something to drink?" Yes, thank you. No, I don't want that glass. Oh, that sofa's really ugly. What's this? Oh, God, it's so ugly. And she went through the entire apartment, and she hated everything. This time, I am just about to kick this woman.
Yeah.
And we were both devastated. We were both adults, but it really affected both of us.
Yeah, we had done so well putting this
apartment.
together.
Yeah.
Noakes and Cone.
Everything was fabulous.
That's right.
That's right.
Noakes and Cohen. That was
It must have been the next day or something when you must have, I think you called David and you said, what are you doing? What were you doing? And I don't know what your answer was, David. What did you say to your dad?
I tell you honestly, I can't even remember that.
No,
part.
you
No, I remember that part. I just don't remember
he
the rest.
hired.
You hired her.
Yeah.
You hired
her to do that.
a comedian. You hired a comedian.
I hired her to play that part.
Yeah.
Didn't she lie down on the
I
couch?
can't believe, no, I wouldn't, it is warped.
David,
I think I wouldn't do that now.
David,
I have to tell you, there's
When I heard the story.
listen to the end of the story.
Why it is.
Somehow it got through to you. Something kicked in upstairs and you realized that
That
it
you were
wasn't a
being
good
put
thing
on.
to do. No,
Right.
that it was really, it had hurt both of us. And he called and asked to speak to me. Maybe you don't remember this.
No, I don't.
But you said, maybe I shouldn't repeat this, but I will. We're all family, so I'll repeat it because it was a very special thing you said to me.
Is the tape rolling?
You
The
said-
tape is rolling.
You said, Jan, I'm really, really sorry and I have a pain in my heart for what I did to you.
Oh, and I thought it was the
And at
funniest thing
that
I've ever heard in my
moment,
life.
because he knew he had made a mistake and he was apologizing for it.
And David, I thought
And we
if I
all
had
rise up and
heard
say, good, you should suffer. It's an awful thing to do.
Why did you do that?
I thought it was very funny.
I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, but
I thought it was the most.
That's the warp side of the family. You see, you
Absolutely.
are.
definitely the warp side of the family.
That's right. I played
No, I thought it was very clever, but if anyone did that to me, I'd be devastated.
I thought you were going to tell me something else.
Awful.
He would have appreciated this.
I thought, I can't believe I even
It's
did
the
that.
funniest
So-
thing I've ever heard in my life.
I can't believe I did
Larry
that.
thinks it's great. See what happened?
And
She was devastated.
your
when all
father
this happened.
was really
incensed by it, by this hussy.
And he never said anything?
This hussy who didn't like anything.
We weren't sure. We just.
Yeah, but he was always a.
He took it at face value.
Yeah.
But he wrote me a letter once, and there was 3 lines on it, and it said on the top it said page 2. So after all of that, you can understand what I've been through.
That's good.
Looking in the envelope, I wrote this here, but I said, what I do with it? You gotta remember that. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
This woman up to the apartment, we had no idea.
But wasn't she dressed like a slob? With lipstick all over her her nose?
She was not bad looking at all. It's just that everything she saw, she criticized.
Isn't that great? You don't remember
Nostalgia is
that?
not supposed to be.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, it was so
Myra, I thought they had started that. People tell me Myra started that at age 2.
At age 2, yeah, you've done
Did she start that?
You've done that.
No, he did that to me.
did?
Oh, no, that was just...
I thought it was Myra. Larry, I thought what you were going to tell me is actually the funniest thing that happened, which turned out into a little bit of a nightmare. At the time when I first got involved in the comedy business, and I was managing Howie Mandel, and this was before he was a star. There was a look-alike guy that looked exactly like Steve Martin.
Oh, no, I heard this.
Were you there?
No.
Oh, I remember that guy.
And he looked exactly like Steve Martin. And
The
he
limo.
acted like Steve Martin, and he did the wild and crazy guy and all that stuff. And Steve Martin was playing at Maple Leaf Gardens that night. And we showed up in a limo. Howie, I can't believe I did this. I mean, I should be in jail.
Oh my God.
But I showed up in a limo with Howie Mandel before he was a star, so nobody really knew him much. And this guy that looked like Steve Martin. And we got down there 2 hours before Steve Martin in front of Maple Leaf Gardens. And he came out of the limo and he started doing the wild and crazy guy thing. And the crowds were down there and they started going nuts.
Oh my God.
I was shooting pictures of that. I've got pictures of that.
Oh, I'd love to see
And they
it.
started, were you there, Jen?
No, but I remember this story.
And
Oh,
they
that
got
is
inside,
great.
and listen, hang on,
That's
they were
great.
going nuts inside, and they all thought it was Steve Martin. And there were like thousands mobbing him, and I had to pull him back into the limo. He was going to be mobbed.
Oh my God.
And so we went around backstage. I can't believe I ever did this. I went backstage. We went backstage, and the guy the sound door or check or whatever they call the backstage thing, they thought it was Steve Martin. And they let him in. And so I came in there with Howie Mandel, myself, and this guy, and we walked into Steve Martin's dressing room before he got there, and he started playing with the flowers and gifts and all that stuff.
Jesus.
But the thing that happened is that Lou Robbins, who was a friend of your uncle's, or
My father's.
I'm sorry, your father's.
Who's Lou Robbins, Dave?
Lou Robbins found out. He found out.
Who's Lou Robbins?
Lou
He was an
Robbins
agent or manager.
was a concert promoter. I mean, I could tell you a whole bunch of things like that night, but Lou Robbins found out that I went backstage to do that thing with Steve Martin, and he called me up.
Steve Martin was a client of APA's at the time.
Right.
That also handled Johnny.
I was like 22 or 23 years old, and practical joker.
You were older than that, Dave.
He blasted me. He said, "How dare you come bring this guy back to Steve Martin's thing?" And they didn't know. None of the people at Maple Leaf Gardens, they all thought it was Steve Martin. So he was. So meanwhile, he gets up on the stage and starts doing sound checks on Maple Leaf Gardens. Yeah, he had taken over Maple Leaf Gardens. And then listen to this. He's playing around for an hour, and some of the crowd have come into Maple Leaf Gardens, and now the real Steve Martin walks in to Maple Leaf Gardens. And he comes back, and he sees this imposter and me, and he calls the police. He said, "Arrest these guys." Nice guys. This is a weird, yeah, he said, "Arrest
Were
these
you
guys."
arrested?
Well, we almost did. We got kicked out quickly. We got out of there fast with the limo. And,
He's an alias and he's on the run.
Because when we met Steve Martin, he didn't mention David.
Oh, that's right. And you did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Don't mention it.
At Martin Short's Broadway
He's
opening.
your favorite guy,
In
isn't
New
he?
York.
Okay. But anyhow, it
He's my
shows
favorite
you how stupid some of this stuff.
That's a lie. He's doing sound checks. Oh my God, imagine.
But that was, no, I could have lost those shots.
Of what? Of those shots? I have shots.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I took pictures of that. I was down there for that.
You would have had to testify against him.
I'd have to dig it up. I definitely have all those.
I know the story.
Barney.
Okay.
Hey, there's so many misses in this picture.
Alex.
Bubbles in the back.
Alex is popping bubbles.
Hey, where's my...
Okay, so guys, unless
Janet, his mother's going to look for him.
Unless anybody has a memorable moment they want to add. No?
I've got a memorable moment
Yeah.
for Jackie and Kelly to know about.
Okay.
How Jan met Uncle Maury.
Oh, yeah.
I met
Oh, yeah.
Uncle Maury. Grandpa
More,
Maury?
I mean Grandpa Moore.
Grandpa Maury. Grandpa Maury was going to a jazz club in Toronto and he was by himself.
Cold.
He was going to, what was it called? Bourbon Street.
Bourbon Street,
He
right.
was going to Bourbon Street. He was going to see two singers by the name of Jackie and Roy. And it was a very snowy night, very stormy.
It's a dark and stormy
And
night.
Did I give you Jean Lee's report about them?
Yes,
You're
you did.
interrupting. And Jackie and Roy could not get into Toronto because of the snow. So I was singing over at the Four Seasons Hotel. There's a Four Seasons Hotel then in Toronto, which was like you know where?
Crossing the City Hall.
Joy used to.
The Sheraton City Hall.
Downtown.
Yeah.
And I was singing there. So they bumped into some people whom I happen to know, Eugene Amaro and his entourage.
Saxophone.
And they said, we're going over to the Four Seasons to listen to Norman Amadio and Jan, who's singing over there. Would you join us? And your Grandpa Maury came over, and I didn't know who he was, but I knew the other people. So when I went on my break, I went and sat with him. I was introduced to him. I don't think even his name. But we found out who we were, and that's how we met.
Yeah.
Was he
Yeah,
blonde
we
at the
became
time?
friends. Was he blonde hair?
Was he?
Went for him anyway.
Went for him anyway. He was wearing a red sweater with navy,
Wow.
and he was wearing sealskin.
Leave it to the woman to remember what
He
she
was
was.
wearing navy pants and sealskin boots.
One blue
and
sock and one
a leather
brown.
jacket with a fur collar.
But you changed all of that, didn't you?
Oh, that's weird. But she cleaned you
November
up.
29th, 1976.
What, October 29th?
November
Can't you be more
29th.
specific?
November 29, 1976.
Wow. Wow. What was your maiden name, Jen?
That's a lot.
Steele.
That's pretty name.
With an E.
No,
It wasn't anything? Oh. I don't know why I thought that.
and that's how
Good,
we
good
met.
Hamilton Steele.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Steele,
She came to Hamilton
Jane.
from Scotland
That's right, she
when
used
she originally came over as a young girl.
Larry took her on a tour of all the places.
So you met exactly 21.
And
21.
And Marty, how come you took it at 2 years?
December 29th, 1997. We're getting on the bus for an all-day excursion around Phoenix.